Hi everyone, I hope the presentation which is being kept is visible to all of you. We still have got around 15 minutes left for the session to begin. So sharply by 11 or 11:05, we should be able to go live. I want everyone to join sharply at 11. आप 11 बजे sharp join कीजिए. So that within a span of next 2-3 minutes, we are able to go live with all the students. Okay. And everyone, I also request to sit with some rough sheets and pen because there are a lot of questions that we will be solving so that you get insights of strategies and shortcuts by which you'll be able to crack CAT 22. Okay. So we'll be going live sharply by 11:05. So you can either stay here or you can rejoin back at 11 o'clock. Hi everyone, I want everyone to sit with some rough sheets and pen in today's session because there will be a lot of quality questions of the previous year actual CAT paper that we'll be solving. So I want everyone to be ready with some rough book and pen or calculator to help yourself to solve these questions that we'll be taking in today's session. Sharply in next 10 minutes, we should be able to go live. We'll wait for maximum people to join in. Lately by 11:05, we should be able to begin with the session. Okay. So pay utmost attention if in case you've got any question that you want me to answer prior to the session or after the session, you can please feel free to comment in the chat box so that I can go through it quickly also. Hi everyone, let me know if I'm live and if you guys are able to hear me and see me. Everyone there in the session, all of you, a warm welcome and good afternoon, morning to all of you who are attending the session live with MBAP. Give me a quick heads up and thumbs up if you guys are able to see me and hear me well. This is going to be a session which is inclined towards CAT 2022 Marathon Workshop. We have got less than 6 weeks of a time to make you prepare for the given CAT 2022. We'll see all those possibilities that may come up in your journey for the next 1 month, and to make yourself readily prepared for the exam also is what we are looking at. In today's session, we'll have a brief discussion over the highlights of CAT 2022. We'll see the perspective of previous year paper. We'll solve actual CAT questions with some great strategies and shortcuts. And obviously in today's session, we will also interact with previous year students who have cracked CAT with 99.9 percentile. So it's going to be a session which will go almost for around about 3 hours. So I want everyone to pay utmost attention in this next 3 hours. Are we all set to begin with the session? Everyone out here in the session? Are we all set to begin with the session? All of you? The only request which I want everyone to keep ready is arrange for some rough sheets, pen and calculator, because there will be a lot of questions in which the calculation will also be involved, and I want us to solve these questions together. So in the next some time, you guys can arrange for some rough sheets and pen and make yourself readily prepared with them so that you can quickly solve those questions which I will be taking in today's session. But yes, just not the question solving is the objective. We'll see the preparation plan, last 1 month, milestones, and the study plan that we need to keep for today's session is the main objective that we are keeping. Let me quickly introduce you the highlights of today's session. In today's session, we'll begin with the highlights of what CAT 22 will look like, which I'm sure all of you would know, and we'll also see some of the historical trends of the past paper analysis of CAT 2017, 18, 19, 20, and beyond before that also. The most important part will also be covered, which is the deadlines of business schools that we should know. Okay, because there are certain business schools whose notifications are already out, whose application deadline will be before the CAT examination, and there'll be huge bunch of B schools where the application will go after the CAT results or after the CAT exam also. But there are few of the colleges which we should know if we are readily looking at these colleges with a percentile above of 95 percentile, which are these colleges whose application deadline will be even closed before the CAT examination. We'll also solve some of the actual CAT questions as practice. And these are the questions which are taken from 2016, 17, 18, 19 paper, so that you can understand the perspective of what the questions may look like in the year of 2022 and what are the best possible methods and techniques and shortcuts by which you can solve them. And then we will also talk about the preparation plan, the study plan, and then the timetable which you guys need to follow to crack CAT in the next 1 month of a time. Clear? I hope the screen is visible to all the students out here. The only request which I want, it's going to be a lengthy session. It's going to go for almost 3 hours. So pay at the most attention as possible from your side. Let's quickly begin. So talking about the highlights of 2022, this is one of those slides which I'm sure all of you would know it prior to join this session. The overall timeline that we are looking at for the exam of CAT 2022 has been reduced from 3 hours to 2 hours. And in the span of 2 hours, you basically would have to solve 66 odd questions, summing up from VARC, DILR, and CONS. As you guys know, in VARC, there will be 24 questions coming up with a breakup of 19 questions on MCQ based and 5 questions which are based on theta. And the category of question is something that we need to know very well because we are able to utilize next 1 month of our time in those standard questions which will usually come up in your examination. As what you can see, you will see standard 4 questions which are based on RCs, and then you will also see questions which are based on verbal ability. The questions which are based on verbal ability will comprise of questions on para summary, para completion, and then odd man out. You will not see any questions which are based on sentence correction, which is grammar, and you will not see any questions which are based on vocabulary. So be very specific and limited to those kind of questions which will usually and technically will be a part of CAT 2022. No redundant time needs to be wasted in those topics which are sentence correction, vocabulary, and few other topics which we'll discuss in the upcoming flow of the session. Talking about DALR from the year 2016-17, you know that the kind of questions which are coming up in DALR are one of the most challenging questions. Nowadays, you will not be able to possibly bifurcate, is this a standard LR question or is this a DI question? But yes, if you look at the paper pattern of the last 10 years or 12 years, you will see a lot of repeated patterns coming up in the actual CAT also. And these repeated patterns is something that we will disclose in today's session also. Clear? See, CAT as an exam, or let's say whether you talk about math or you talk about DI, excluding VARC, CAT or let's say paper examiner was not so stupid to give you the same old question back. However, I'm again repeating that you will see repeated patterns coming up. Now, what are basically patterns? If you look at any of the fundamental question coming up in the paper of DILR or CONT, you will see any question would be made in four forms. You will see questions which are based on diagrams. You will see questions which are based on words. You will see questions which are based on variables. And there would be questions which are based on numbers. Numbers, variable, words, and diagrams are the formats of the question. And that's what we will disclose in today's session also. These are four formats of the question which may change, but the fundamental question will not change. A question which is based on number can be given to you in the form of variable. A variable question could be given to you in the form of word, or a word-based question could be given to you in the form of a diagram. The formats keeps on changing year on year, but those fundamental questions will never ever change. And that's what we need to focus on, building our building blocks or the fundamentals of math and DLR. And yes, the third section, as you guys know, will be math, which is also called as quantitative aptitude, with summing up around 22 odd questions coming up. And there's a huge concentration on topics which are basically on arithmetic and algebra. So gone are the days where questions usually used to come from modern math and numbers. The probability of number-based questions, the instance of number-based questions have gone down. The major concentration of a paper will be arithmetic and algebra. But what do I want to highlight in this session? See, if you're talking about arithmetic, everyone out here, if I ask you what is the best section which you can solve in math, all of you will say, I can solve questions on averages, ratio, proportion, percentage. You give me anything in arithmetic, I would be able to solve. But see, if you can solve, all the other 2.5 lakh people who will be attempting this paper can also solve this question along with you. Clear? So what the major game would be? The major game would be the number of attempts, and second would be the accuracy rate. As what you can see, 35 to 40% of a paper will be arithmetic only. Everyone will do it. But how many of them you are able to get right? What is the number of attempts which you are keeping is the decision maker who will get, let's say, cont 99 percentile plus, and who will be in the range of 90 to 95, and who will be below 90. Clear? Over the years, last 3 years, the concentration of paper is more or less remained standard. They have not changed. But yes, everyone is now familiar with the patterns. So the only thing is now is game of accuracy and number of attempts which you need to keep in this paper. Clear? Now it's also important for you to understand the matrix of the attempts versus the score which you're getting with the percentile that you can expect in the paper of 2022. This is majorly in line with 2021. If the paper difficulty level is more or less remain same, any which ways your score will be normalized. The reason being there will be 3 slots in which CAT 22 will happen. Clear? More or less, it has remained same from 2022 to 21 and will remain same for 2022 also. So you would have to consider which slot or which section am I actually getting my scores as of now. Are you a student who's getting a score in the mock test in the range of 80 to 85 percentile? Is it in the range of 90 or 95, or is it below 95, above 95 till 99? You need to understand, because the reason being that we have got almost 6 weeks in our hand, and in next 6 weeks, the minimum score that we need to target in the paper of CAT to get a good college call, a good business school call, has to be 90 and beyond. Clear? So if we are below 90, the first objective is how do we reach 90? And if we are on the stage of 90, the next objective would be how do we reach 95? If you're on 95, the next objective is how do we reach 99? The percentile fluctuation will be in the range of 2 to 5 percentile in the mock test which you're getting as of now, with the final score of the actual CAT also. Clear? So the only benchmark that we need to keep is before we even go live for the actual CAT examination, we need to improve our threshold to get a minimum of 90 percentile in the mock test. Once your score of 90 has been achieved, the next milestone is about 95 or 99 that we need to achieve. Clear? So a score of 60, I repeat, a standard score of 60 in the examination of CAT will easily give you 90 percentile. Now, getting 90 in CAT is not a very difficult, and neither I'm saying it's a cakewalk. Clear? But anyone who's practiced or in the preparation plan of is in the preparation journey for, let's say, 3 months and beyond in the given examination for CAT or any other competitive examination can land to a safe score of 90 percentile. Clear? So a score of 90 is the which is equivalent to a benchmark of 60 marks is the minimum percentile benchmark that you need to keep in your head before you even go for the CAT examination. That at least once in my mock test, I need to get a score of how much? 60 marks in the paper of any of the mock tests which you are taking. Above that, the milestones that I want to set 95 score if you guys are expecting. A score of 72 to 75 is the range which we need to keep to make sure that you're able to get 95 and beyond. Next stage will be 98. To get 98, a score of 85 is what we are looking at. Clear? As what you can see, the more you go up, you will see the difference in the marks is huge. The difference in marks is almost 10, 10, 10. If you're able to get increment of 10 marks, you will see a percentile jump of around about 4 to 5 percentile. Clear? So standard, we can assume that if you're looking at a percentile jump of 1 mark or percentile of one uh, level up, 90, 95 to 96, 96 to 97, you are technically looking at a score of around about 2 to 3 marks per percentile. Clear? And that's the level of competition usually you would be having, because this year you will see the maximum number of people who will be attempting the CAT paper has reached the milestone of 2.5 lakh plus. Clear? See, it does not give you a source of intensiveness or, let's say, a sense of difficulty which may come up, because the reason being that more than 50% of the students, I repeat, more than 50% of the students who attempt for the CAT examination usually have a score of negative. Usually have a score of negative. Even if I put 000 score in the paper of CAT, at least you will be having a percentile of 50 and beyond. So you're not competing with 2.5 lakh people, you are seriously competing with 1 lakh people who are seriously preparing for the given examination. We are not looking at 2.5 lakh number. We are looking at 1 lakh serious students who are preparing for the given examination. Out of 1 lakh, we are looking at a score of 90 percentile, which means people who are scoring at least 1 mark positive, 1 mark positive will be close to 1 lakh. Out of 1 lakh, we are looking at the top 10% students, which are top 10,000 students who will get into the top 20 business schools or top 30 business schools of India. Clear? So that's the golden benchmark. A score of 100 will correspond to 99 percentile. As what you can see above, with a minimal percentile increase, you have to fetch more number of marks. Clear? So that's what the fight would also be about. A score of 90, 95, you will see a score of around 10 marks of a jump. Clear? But from 99 to 99.5, again, you'll see around about 7, 8 marks more I need to get. Clear? Because whatever the level of competition may be in India, there will be at least 5,000, 4,000, 6,000 students who will prepare, who whatever they have prepared for, okay, they will perform equally the best of their potential in any circumstance. You give them a difficult paper, you give them an easy paper, you change the pattern, you change the whole format of CAT, still they will perform the best. Clear? And that's what we are looking at. We want you to be at least one of those top 10,000 rankers who will get the best possible score in the given year of CAT 2022. Clear? As you guys know, they are basically top 6 colleges, which are basically IIM Ahmedabad, Bangalore, Calcutta, Kozhikode, Shillong, Lucknow. Excluding Shillong, the top 5 colleges you can consider, they repeatedly make the paper of that. Clear? And there's a repeated cycle in which they will make the paper, because it's only 5 colleges who will make the paper for 20 of the IIMs, and the rest of the colleges will be accepting the paper. So it's but obvious they will see the repeated paper patterns which are coming up. So in today's session, we will also see the paper pattern in which CAT was conducted by IIM Bangalore. Clear? Last year, you guys know it was conducted by IIM Ahmedabad, which was the year 2021, and back in the year 2015 was the year when Ahmedabad had set up the paper. Similarly goes for Bangalore, and you guys can also predict who will basically conduct the paper of CAT 2023, but we are limited for CAT 22. That's what our milestone is. Clear? So we have got IIM Bangalore who will be setting up the paper of 2022. So obviously this will be influenced by two factors. One, the paper pattern of 2016. I repeat, the difficulty level, or let's say the kind of questions which have come in the paper of 2016. And then you will also have to see the COVID time changes in which the paper have come. These papers have been made in the last 2-3 years by colleges like IIM Indore, Ahmedabad, and now this year would be Bangalore. So at any given cost, none of you can go for the examination without solving all those questions which has come in 2020 and 21. Clear? Because 2020 onwards, the paper pattern have been changed. The time has been shrinked. We went to a level of 76 questions. From 76, we are now looking at only 66 questions. And before that, there were 100 odd questions which used to come in CAT standard from 2013 till 2019. Clear? So you guys have to solve paper of 2021 and 20. And then the most important paper that we need to crack will also be of 2016. These are few of the most important papers that we need to look into. Clear? And there are a lot of perspective that you guys can see in this paper. For example, let's see this first of all. Let's start with the analysis of 2016 paper of CAT, which was again set up by IIM Bangalore. As what you can see, the easiest section which was there in the paper was basically on the VARC section. The moderately challenging sections was LRDI and Quant. The overall paper was not difficult, but however, we are looking at 3 slots. At least one of the slot you can see the paper would be difficult, but 2 of the slot will overall paper will just be moderate. See, if the paper is easy, medium, and moderate, these are only 3 things which can happen. Clear? Now, don't sit with a preconceived notion that I'll be solving X number of questions or Y number of questions. You have to attempt the maximum of your potential, because you do not know you are sitting in an easy slot or a medium slot or a difficult slot. You have not understood a comparison with slot number 3 or 2 or 1. Once you are out of the paper, जब तुम पेपर दे के आओगे तब समझेगा ना पेपर 1 slot 1 easy था या slot 2 या slot 3. So number of attempts will change. Clear? So at any given instance, minimum कितना करना है ये मुझे पता होना चाहिए. Minimum questions कितने attempt करने हैं ये पता होना चाहिए. But if you are talking about the maximum attempt that we need to keep, you have to get the maximum of your potential in any of the slot. In any of the slot, you have to get the maximum of your potential. The reason is simple. You do not know you're setting in an easy slot or a medium slot or a difficult slot. Clear? See, if the paper is easy, obviously you will have to ensure that the number of attempts is above the other students. And secondly, is the accuracy level. These are 2 things which have to be at the utmost level. Clear? So अगर मेरी accuracy थोड़ी कम भी हो गई, अगर मैं attempt अच्छा भी है, तो भी I'll be able to sail through it. But अगर पेपर डिफिकल्ट है तो पहली बात तो वहां पे तुम्हारा अटेम्प्ट वैसे भी कम होने वाला है. अब अगर अटेम्प्ट कम होने वाला है, so you would have to pick and choose wisely those few of the important questions which will decide your destiny to get 1 percentile more or 2 percentile more or 5 percentile more. Clear? So if you feel the paper is difficult or moderately challenging, then the mock test, जितना भी आपने mock test लिया हुआ है, so you would have to pick and choose those questions. Now the challenge is, अब तुम बोलोगे यार मैं choose कैसे करूं? Let's say अगर आपका मैथ्स का सेक्शन आया and आपको choose करना है कि मैं क्वेश्चन choose कैसे करूं. जब पेपर 3 घंटे का होता था, जब आपके पास एक घंटा होता था और 34 क्वेश्चंस आते थे, then there was a strategy to sit with some rough sheets. जब हम पेपर चालू करेंगे तो हम उससे पहले ही एक रफ शीट बना लेते थे और यहाँ पे 1 2 3 4 5 6 till 34 हम लिख देते थे हम लोग यहाँ पे जब मैं पेपर देता था. क्लियर? और यहाँ पे मैं क्वेश्चन पहले 3 से 4 मिनट ना खाली पूरा सेक्शन जो उसको एनालाइज करता था. मैथ्स का सेक्शन दिखा, मैं क्वेश्चन नंबर 1 2 3 4 till 34 I used to jump on the questions and see question number 1 is a doable question or a non-doable question. A doable question would be a round 1 question. A non-doable question will technically be a round 2 question. Clear? और मेरे पास एक और स्कोप था which was basically round 3 questions. Round 3 जो सबसे difficult question मुझे लगता था, जिसको शायद मैं देखूं भी ना. Clear? But round 1 and round 2 are the doable questions in my time when I was writing my paper in 2013-14. Clear? But now, as you guys know, अब तुम्हारे पास क्वेश्चन ही 22 आने वाले हैं, तो तुम्हारे पास इतना टाइम भी नहीं है. 40 मिनट के अंदर 22 क्वेश्चन करने हैं, इतना टाइम नहीं है कि 4-5 मिनट में इसमें डाल दो. But the only thing which you can do is as soon as you start the paper, I repeat, as soon as you start any of the paper, let's say quant, clear? तुम question number 1 देखते हो, you decide in, let's say in 5 or 6 seconds, is this question doable in less than 1 minute, or is this going to take more than 1 minute? I repeat, is this question can be doable in 1 minute, or is this question can be doable in more than 1 minute? Now, don't categorize. तुम्हारे दिमाग में तुमको पता है कि ये राउंड 1 क्वेश्चन है, ये राउंड 2 क्वेश्चन है, यही दो टाइप ऑफ क्वेश्चन है, क्लियर? और अगर तुमको कोई बहुत ही इंटेंसिव क्वेश्चन लग रहा है जो बहुत बड़ा सा लेंथी सा दिया हुआ है, और तुमको पता है कि इसमें तो बहुत 3-4 मिनट जाने वाला है, तो उसको तो तुम वहीं पे ही कुछ दिमाग करके आगे बढ़ो, clear? So the questions, I repeat, you would have to categorize the questions in two frames. One, the question which can be solved in less than 1 minute, and the question which can be solved in more than 1 minute. Let's say if I can just jump on the slide, मैं एक बार आगे जाता हूँ और तुमको दिखाता हूँ कुछ क्वेश्चन, जैसे कुछ क्वेश्चन है यहाँ पे, ये क्वेश्चन है तुमको यहाँ पे, एंड दिस इज कैट 2016 एक्चुअल क्वेश्चन, दो तुमको पूछा जाएगा कि बताओ दिस इज, will you solve this question or we will not solve the question? I'm not asking you to solve, we'll solve this together, but you would have to think through, is this a round 1 question or this is a round 2 question? Now all those questions which are round 1 question you will solve then and there itself. Only round 2 questions, only round 2 questions are those questions which you will highlight or you will mark them so that you can come back to those questions when all those easy questions have been tackled. Clear? Is this clear? Round 1 questions you will do as and when you will see this. Round 2 questions you can just bifurcate, you can just mark them, highlight them. Once you're done with all the easy questions, then you can move to those the unsolved questions which you have moved ahead. Clear? That's how you can segregate the questions, at least less than 1 minute or more than 1 minute. Less than 1 minute you are solving then and there itself. More than 1 minute, if it is going to take, you will not solve it now, you will solve it later once the easy questions have been scrolled. Is this clear, all of you? Everyone out here in this session, because we'll be solving these actual live questions also. We'll solve all the previous year questions. Clear? Okay, clear. Now talking about the standard questions which will come up in your examination, as you guys can see, 2016 paper was also similar. So irrespective of any score, let me tell you, irrespective of any score which will come in your examination, you will see your maximum score. Your maximum score for more than 90% of students is basically from BARC. You get 90 percentile, you get 85 percentile, you get 95 or 99. If you talk to any of the topper, if you see scorecard of any of the topper, few of the 99.9 percentilers will also join the session. You will see their scorecard. You will see maximum score has been conquered in BARC section. Clear? This is going to be relatively easier. So your attempt will be more. Your accuracy level will be fairly decent in this section, and you will be able to see maximum score of your paper will come from BARC. The least score, repeat, the least score that you can get in this paper in any of the year of CAT will basically be from LRDI, because it's going to be difficult for you to bifurcate what is the LR question and what is a DI question. The only thing which I want to highlight in this slide is basically the questions on Venn diagrams. 2016 also you saw a question coming on Venn diagram, and the last 3 years paper, if you see, you will see constantly they are putting questions on Venn diagrams. The questions could be on 3x3 matrix, or they can even give you a question on 4x4 matrix. In today's session, we'll also see the varieties of questions which are based on Venn diagrams. So you guys have to make sure that you're able to clear this section with at least being readily prepared for the questions on Venn diagram coming up in the year 2022. Expected in all 3 slots, but at least in 2 slots, aega. And next comes the third section. Here. So 2016, 17, 18, 19, all those years, you will see the proportion of questions. I repeat, the proportion of questions which are based on numbers have technically gone down. The proportion of questions have technically gone down for number system and has also gone down for modern math. Clear? And the most important section nowadays are basically arithmetic, followed by algebra, and then comes geometry. Clear? So if you'll ask me, what should I focus more in the next 1 month of a time? It's but obvious the concentration of a paper will be heavily dependent on arithmetic and algebra, but make sure you're able to see and solve all the variety of questions. None of the questions should be unsolved, at least in arithmetic and algebra. Then you will see questions which are based on geometry and mensuration. You will see questions which are standard. These are questions which are based on circles, triangles, and polygons. They will even, they can ask you questions which are about solving the length of the given section or segment. They can give you questions which are finding about the area or the ratio of area. or they can give you questions on volume. So length-based, area-based, and volume-based are three varieties of question which comes in geometry. But summing it up, you will see these are only three sections which are relevant for any of the year of CAT, at least if you look at the paper of 2016 and the last 3-year paper of the given examination also. Yeah. Is this clear? Before we jump on to the question, and we'll see the varieties of question which has come in 2016 and the previous year paper, it's important for you to understand that there are few of the colleges whose application deadline will be even before the actual CAT examination. The exam will be on 27, but there are 5 of those colleges which you, if at all you are looking at getting into these esteemed colleges, तो तुमको इसका application form पहले ही भरना पड़ेगा. Lot of times it has happened. People have got 98 and 99. They were unaware that these application forms should have been filled prior to it. Which are these colleges? One of them is MDI Gurgaon. Second is SP Jain. Third is Great Lakes. Great Lakes 1-year program, which is PGPM program. Clear? The 2-year program, you can fill it after the CAT result also. Next comes FMS Delhi, and 5th is MICA. Clear? The number of seats is more or less around about 400 in MDI Gurgaon. But MDI Gurgaon में आपके पास 3 अलग-अलग programs है. One is core PGDM, second is PGDM in HR, and third is PGDM in IBA, which is International Business. अगर आप core PGDM देखते हो, तो उसका कट ऑफ जाता है 98 and above, 98.5 ही पकड़ो आप. Clear? But अगर आप बाकी दो programs देखते हो, which is HR program and IB program, so if you're able to get 95 and above, you can apply for MDI Gurgaon also. SP Jain, obviously the cutoff will be, so there are 2 kind of profiles. One is profile based call and second is merit based call. Profile based, obviously, exceptionally you can expect on 85 to get a call, but standard you can expect 95 and beyond people usually get a call on SP Jain. A combination of good profile and good score will be decent academics, decent work experience, synergy between work experience and the specialization of a choice, and 95 and above. Great Lakes is also the same, 94, 95 and above will get a call for 1-year program. FMS is 98.5 and above. There are some diversity pointers, so females can get a call on a score of 97 or 96 also, but usually 98 is the standard benchmark. And MICA, as you guys know, MICA, the pre-eligibility is you would have to take CAT, ZAT or GMAT before the MICA. So this is basically the round 1 deadline of MICAT. If you guys are attempting in the month of December, you would have to take the application form seriously before 19th of November. These are few of the colleges whose deadline will be before the CAT examination. There's a huge bunch of good colleges whose application will be even after the CAT examination. The application will start now, but this will go after the CAT exam also. Few of those colleges which you guys can look at will be Goa Institution of Management, followed by TAPMI. You have got Wellinkar, Mumbai and Bangalore. You have got KJ Somaiya. You have got IMT Ghaziabad. Now, IMT Ghaziabad, Somaiya, Wellinkar, TAPMI, GIM, they fall in the same band. But obviously, colleges like NITI and IIT Bombay or IIT Delhi will be in Tier 1 college. NITI's last deadline will be in the first week of January. Okay. And Selegia Mehta, IIT Bombay's deadline will also be in the first week of January. Clear? So you can fill these colleges after the result, or let's say after the CAT exam. Same goes for the Band 2 colleges, IMT Ghaziabad, KJ Somaiya, Wellinkar, TAPMI and GIM. You can see these colleges. The college notification will be out in the first week of November, and this will go till the end of January. Now, before we actually jump on to the question solving, it's also important for you to look at and to know what does a B school look at in a candidate, because apart from the CAT preparation, you have to make your application also ready. You have to make sure the SOPs also being mandatory, let's say, drafted well in line with the college acceptance. So you have to talk to a lot of students who are studying in these colleges to make yourself readily prepared for the application round also. As said, the college application for the colleges will start in the first week of November also. Now, to make you guys aware of what does a B school look at in the candidate, we have got the admission head of Wellinkar Mumbai, Mr. Swapnil sir here, to guide you, to make you prepared, to make you understand what does a B school look at in the candidate. Few of the pointers, we'll listen to him for some time.
Yeah, hi. Good morning, Abhijit.
Good morning, sir. I hope you're doing well. First of all,
I'm doing well. I have Ayushi with me. She's a
so amazing. Hi, Ayushi. I hope
How do you want? Yeah.
Ayushi, can you hear me?
Yes, yeah.
Very well. Swapnil sir, if you can just throw some light with respect to, let's say, one college, let's say, Wellington perspective, to make students understand what does a B school look at in the candidate, and what are the importance of SOPs, academics, the CAT percentile, the overall achievements, and the performance in GDPI. What matrix percentage will be evaluated these students will be?
Yeah. I think it's a good start to the morning, and I think Abhijit has spoken about how exactly you should prepare for CAT. So that's one part of the story. But the other part is equally important is you need to look at your profile, and you need to build your profile if the marks are not up to the mark. So the first thing in profile is academics. So that is, you cannot do anything about it right now. So if you got a first class, it's okay. If you're below first class, you cannot do anything about it. So your 10th, 12th is gone. What you can always work on is probably your graduation if you're appearing. If you have already passed, you cannot do anything about it. So I will divide this into two things: controllables and non-controllables. So this is non-controllable because what has happened in the past, like 10, 12 graduation, you cannot control it. Second is work experience. So if you have work experience, obviously you get marks. If you don't have work experience, you don't get marks. So these two top things you cannot control. So what we are planning to talk about is Ayushi and I are going to talk about controllables from now on till maybe January, February, when the calls will be out and you'll be trying to apply to colleges and probably get shortlisted and then sit for interviews and whatever processes they have, let's say a written ability test and group exercises, because many people have done away with GD. So two things you can work obviously on is certifications. Okay, certifications from now on till let's say Jan Feb. Obviously, parallel to CAT, you should try and have certifications, build the profile. Okay, let's say in marketing, you need to have business analytics certificate, or let's say a digital marketing certificate. It's a must. Okay, that is a must. So that is in marketing. Finance, you should probably look at basics in finance, advance in finance, stock market, beta calculation. Okay, this will be pertinent for, and we can tell you that from where you can also do it. You can do it from Google Garage. Okay, it's a free medium where you can probably get down the certifications. If you want to plan to pay and then do it, then there are many sites. So you can have Coursera, Udemy. Okay, then slightly upgrade if you want to do, then upgrades of the world. Okay, so you can carefully build a profile. Okay, stay focused and ensure that when the Jan Feb comes and when the calls are out, your profile or the form which you're going to fill, it looks complete. It's not hollow, especially for freshers. Their form, I feel it's hollow. Hollow in the sense, it means it is only with 10, 12 graduation. There's nothing else to write. Okay, so once you start doing the certifications, not to mention that this is the end of the world, but this is just the start. Like two certifications from marketing finance, and there are HR certifications like 360 degrees, appraisal, then your recruitment and selection. I'll take the questions as well, Amal. Okay, I'll take that. Let me not break the flow and then come to questions. So this is what I intend to try and look at. So I'll try to, pause a bit here and give Ayushi a chance so that we understand her profile. How did she try and leverage that profile and got into HCM, and what happened to her? I mean, really great things happened in her life. So let's let Ayushi talk. Over to you, Ayushi.
Thank you so much, sir. Thank you so much for providing this platform to share about my journey, giving me this chance. So I'm giving about a brief about myself. So I'm a dentist. I've did my graduation from Rajiv Gandhi University of Health Sciences in Bangalore. And generally, people think that after dentistry, I will be pursuing my master's in that field as well. So I did my COVID posting, and that time I realized that I'm much more interested and intrigued into the managerial and financial aspects of it. And at that time, I thought that, okay, let me search for the colleges which is providing, management courses in particularly healthcare field. So there are, I was thinking that there are not many colleges would be providing, but I was very much surprised that there are around 300 colleges that is providing this particular course. So in top 5, Belinka was one of them. So I decided like, okay, let me have that shortlist and decide and go about it. Like how will I let me appear for the exam and just sit and shortlist my own colleges. So I felt that Valinka will be the perfect college for me. As as a student, everybody sees ROI factor as well. So Valinka was the apt for me to join in. And to be honest, I didn't prepare that much, and my profile was taken as a holistic view. So I had a dentistry, I had a medical background. I did my internship in COVID as well during COVID period. So that actually helped me to align my profile during getting admission into Valenkas. So after getting into here, I got lot of a plethora of opportunities, to be honest. Like I was with a mindset that okay, many people think that after doing MBA, okay, I would be getting into this particular role. So even I had thought the same. So I was thinking like okay, getting into the consulting field. So even I did internship into the consulting field, and I was competing with the various international colleges as well. And our team was in the top 6 performing teams, and only Indian team to be in that particular consulting competition. So that was like, okay, I got confidence during that time. Okay, we can perform, like coming from a dentistry background and totally shifting your, course, like from science to commerce, it's like a big thing. And to be honest, I lost a touch for about 7 years from maths as well. So it was a big thing for me. So yeah, from here, I got confidence that, okay, I can do something. And after that I got opportunity to do my summer internship in Alchem Laboratories. It's a pharmaceutical company, and there I was offered a PPO as well. So I'm right now placed with them. And here at moment, I'm doing a live project with IIT Bombay. It is a startup named LifeSpark Technologies. They are pertaining with the dealing with the Parkinson's patients, and they're into the product launch. So during my summer internship as well, I did a product launch, and it happened recently. So they were into like Alchem has got into the medical devices sector. So I was there in the product launch, and same way I would be doing for the IIT Bombay project as well. So in and all, getting into a B school like Varenker, I got a lot of opportunities, and coming through a mindset that okay, I would be doing this, but coming here, I got so much of exposure that I believe that there is a lot more beyond that. So yeah.
Thanks, Ayushi. So I think she hit the main chords. Okay. This morning. Okay, so and the learning never stops. Okay, so one of the gist is because she's placed generally, what people do is they enjoy. You're placed generally in August, and you have a year to go, but she's still taking a project with IIT Bombay. So that's the message, guys. That I mean, she's already placed an MBA. Still, she wants to learn, and people who are listening to us, that's 130 odd people who logged in morning and spending some time with us, they are very serious candidates. Okay, so I will request to them that parallel to what you're doing, CAT is going to be of paramount importance. That's mandatory. But parallelly build a profile where you can talk about it. Okay, and that's why we both are here. So even in terms of SOP, what we are looking at also, statement of purpose, which probably generally all foreign B schools have. It's a mandate. Okay, now all Indian B schools will probably have, because we need to understand that why on earth exactly how this degree will help you succeed, and maybe 2 years, 3 years, 5 years down the line. Okay, do you have given a thought? Like, I mean, I'm not going to track you down and understand that, oh, 5 years down the line, this has happened to you or not. No, that is not the agenda at all. The agenda is very simple. Have you even given a thought about it? How exactly this degree is going to help you? Statement of purpose is going to help you all, guys. So you need to start about right from your 12th till graduation. What have you done, especially freshers? Okay, and try and take out stories which you can represent. Okay, it can be as simple as losing weight. Okay, losing weight, how you will represent discipline in your life. Okay, so these small things also you can present in a better way. Okay, so I mean, you might think is a very frivolous thing, losing weight, but then the way you represent it is, this got very absolute discipline in my life, and that is why I got 90%, 95%, whatever percentile, and then representing myself as a candidate for, let's say, any XYZ B school. Forget Wellinger, any B school which you aspire to be. This is my morning message. Abhijit, do you have any questions? I think you've touched upon everything.
Yeah, so if you can just help these students to understand the importance of CAT percentile, or let's say CAT or CMAT, whichever entrance exam these guys are giving, in the final conversion factor. Yeah, yeah.
Since you also have a very long day, I'll keep it very short. Okay.
Yeah.
So generally, all B schools, AICT mandate says it is going to be 30 to 35%. Okay, maximum 40% weightage given to CAT percentile. Okay, then your academics comes around 5 to 10%. Okay, it varies between college and college, but generally it's there. These I'm telling you thumb rules. There will be some twists and turns, some MICAs of the world and all, which is exception, of course. Then there'll be your GDPI, which forms the majority. It ranges between 40 to 60. So if you have a bad CAT percentile, okay, if you have a CAT percentile, achievements may be 5%, profile may be 5%. Okay, you can write that. If you have a bad percentile in CAT, bad in the sense, let's say you got 75, 80, you might have a bad day. The way you can come back is definitely with your profile and your GDPI. That's the message. Because that is where your stakes will tilt. Because your 40 to 60% is in going to be GDPI and profile another 5%. Hence, the profile is going to be important and try and build it from now on.
Yeah. I'm sure people will also understand profile, or let's say diversity will also play a role.
Yes.
Diversity, basically, if you're non-engineer, and let's say if you're coming with liberal arts background or humanities background.
Ayush's profile for that matter. Ayush's profile, she's a dentist.
Yeah.
Very few dentists apply. Very few. I mean, minuscule, not even 1%. If you see the CAT data of 2 lakh, 60-65% are engineers. Okay. And the other 15 to 20% are BCom, generally. BCom, BBAs of the world. Okay. Whatever degree it was then. And dentistry, or maybe even the pure sciences, will be very minimum, maybe 4-5%. Dentistry will be not even 1%. So, and lawyers. So we are looking at this kind of diversity: lawyers, dentists, MBBS even. Okay. So for whatever reason, they not want to be in their own field, in the sense practicing field of, let's say, medical sciences. They want to be in the managerial side of it, not the hands-on doctor. Okay, so to say. So they are welcome.
So amazing. So I hope all of you have made have yourself very much clear that if your academics or profile is a bit higher on better than other students, then even if my CAT performance has gone a little lower, which we are not expecting though, still I'll be able to make it to those top colleges which other students are able to get here. And also for your key information, we are also launching this powerful profile building certification program, which will be done by Wellinger. This will be an online certification program. This will be done in the month of November 1st week. You will get the notification with the emails, which we already have got. And with due time, there will be more engaging workshops with Wellinger so that you guys can understand the importance of the other parameters apart from CAT. But now, as of now, the next 1.5 months that we are keeping will be only and only towards making you prepared for the given exam of CAT. Cool. All right. Thank you, Swapna sir, and thank you for taking time out, Ayushi, for making people understand what
everyone for the workshop. It's going to be a marathon workshop, I heard. So best wishes.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you, Ayushi. Thank you. Cool then. So let's quickly begin the section that we are looking at, where we are actually solving the previous year actual questions. And now this point onwards, I want everyone who are there in the session, be ready with your rough sheets, pen, book, calculator, whatever is possible, so that you are able to solve these questions along with me. Just a second. Let me know if you guys are able to see the screen back. Everyone out here, are we all set to take these questions live? I want response from all these students here so that we are solving these questions together. Everyone out here, are we all set to solve these questions? Come on, say yes, 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 at least in the chat box. Amazing. Cool. So we are here to solve the actual questions. I want everyone to participate in the session. And it's my promise for the next some time, you'll be able to see and solve these questions along with me and with the other previous year toppers of CAT, the best possible methods. Clear? The question will not change. The difficulty level will not change. The only thing that is going to change is the way to approach these questions. So, let's go live with the very first question, which has come in the year CAT 2016 paper. And majority of the questions are paper based on 2016, 17, 18 question, as I've already told you. Cool. Let's read this question live with everyone out here. The question says, Ramesh and Gautam are among those 22 students. Ramesh and Gautam are along with those 22 students who wrote this examination. Ramesh score is 82.5. The average score of 21 students other than Gautam is 62. The average students score of 21 students along other than Gautam is 62. The average score of all the 22 students is one more than the average score of 21 students other than Ramesh, which means if 21 students have a score of average X, then 21 students with Ramesh, the average is becoming X plus 1. And the question is, find Gautam's score. This is my promise that in today's session, again, we'll not solve the question with stereotype variable method. We'll directly jump onto the concept and solve these questions without framing any equation. Clear? I want everyone to pay utmost attention. Now, all these questions of actual CAD can be solved provided your core concepts are very much sharp. I don't want anyone to make variables or equation. Now, what is the concept of average? The concept of average is not adding the values and dividing by number of variables. The concept of average is only about making the values equal. I repeat, we have to make the values equal is the only thing that we need to consider for solving these questions. Read the question loud. The question says, Ramesh score is 82.5, right? The average of Sonata, yes. The question says, the average score of 22 students is one more than the average score of 21 other students, which means if 21 students have a score of average X, with these 21 students, when Ramesh score has been added, the average is increasing by 1, which means Ramesh had an ability to increase the average of other 21 students also, right? I repeat, Ramesh has got some excess of marks. Whatever is excess, he will distribute. And how much did he distribute? He distributed 1, 1, 1, 1, 1, because when Ramesh came in, everyone got 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. But 1 was given to how many such people? 1 was given to 21 such people, which means out of the score of 82.5, Ramesh had the ability of distributing 21 to other people, which means the average score of 22 students, including Ramesh, ideally would be 82.5 minus 21, which is 61.5. Is this clear? So any value which increases the average will have something beyond the average, and whatever is beyond the average, I repeat, whatever is beyond the average will technically be given to others, So I directly have removed 21 from Ramesh score. So I'm left with 61.5. Now I know 61.5 is the average of 22 students. Very good. Now see the stage of Gautam. What is happening? For 21 students, let's see here. The average score of 21 students other than Gautam is basically 62. But including Gautam, 22 students, the average is 61.5, which means out of 22 students, listen to me, out of 22 students, if I exclude Gautam's score, everyone is shedding off, everyone is getting how much more? Everyone is getting 0.5 more, which means there are 21 students who are on 62. If I include Gautam, everyone is going down by 0.5. When will that happen? That will happen only and only if Gautam is below the average. Below the average, what was the average? The average itself was 61.5. But 21 people have reduced with 0.5 each, which means overall 10.5 was reduced. Why would others reduce 10.5? Only because Gautam was below 10.5. So the average, or let's say the score of Gautam will be 61.5 minus 10.5, which will be straightforward, 51. Is this clear, everyone? We got to solve these questions with the best possible methods. How did we start? How did we start solving this question? We started by understanding that Ramesh score is 82.5. The score of 21 students is 1. Yeah, so Amita will solve these questions and I'll answer them. Okay. Now, when Ramesh came in, he was able to increase the average of 111 to 21 students. So 21 was distributed to others. So the score average of Ramesh and the other 21 students was 61.5. This is for all the 22 students. Out of these 22 students, if I remove Gautam's score, the average is increasing by 0.5. So if one guy is going out, the average is increasing. When will that happen? This will happen only if Gautam is below the average. Whatever is below the average, I'll shed it off. It's given to you that there were 21 students and they reduced 0.5 each. So 21 into 0.5 is basically how much? Is basically 10.5. So simply remove. The overall average was 61.5. Remove 10.5. I'll get the score of Gautam, 51. Is this clear, all of you? Everyone out here, is this clear? Aban, Anchal, Omkar, I want everyone to pay utmost attention and participate in the session. Cool. Very well. Next question. Consider a set S. This is 2014 question. Very well. All of you can solve. Consider a set S 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, tell 2n plus 1, where n is a positive number larger than 2007. Define x as the average of all the odd integers. So whatever is the odd integers, x is the average of that. Y is the average of all the even integers. And the question is, find the difference of x and y. The average of all the odd integers and the difference has to be taken from the average of all the even numbers. Now, if you understand this question very logically, you'll understand that 2007 has just been given to you as a dummy number. So 2n plus 1, listen to me, 2n plus 1 will always be an odd number. This is what all of you would know, right? Let's take a number, let's say 2, 3, 4, and 5. Let's take only this set, 2, 3, 4, 5. The odd numbers are 3 and 5. What is the average of 3 and 5? The average of 3 and 5 is basically 4. And the even numbers is basically 2 and 4. The average of 2 and 4 is basically 3. And the difference of average of odd and even has come out to be as 1. Imagine if I increase this set. Let's make 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and 7. Okay, let's make this set. And let's take even numbers, 2, 4, and 6. The average of 2, 4, and 6 is basically how much? 4. And the average of odd numbers, which is 2. Which Somita, you're asking about the even numbers, 2, 4, and 6. The average of 2, 4, and 6 is basically 4, and the middle number. And the even numbers, odd numbers, 3, 5, and 7. Middle number is 5. So even if I take the difference of 4 and 5, again, it is becoming 1. Again, this was a very tricky question. You don't have to assume any value which is 2007 or beyond. If you take any number, which is an odd number in the end, you will always find that the difference of odd number and the even number is always and always 1. So even if I assume 2007 and make the value as 2007 into 2 plus 1, and then calculate the difference of even and odd average, still you'll get the average as 1. Is this clear? 4 is the middle number, though, Samrita. 4 will be the middle number of 3 and 5. Clear, all of you? Is this clear? Everyone out here? So there are certain things which are redundant in the question, which we need to understand. Kya redundant hai, kya redundant nahi hai in these questions. All of you are able to understand this? Everyone out here in the session? Cool. Next question. And all these questions have to be tackled with a lot of logical sense. Next question. It says, Raju and Lalita originally had some marbles. I repeat, Raju and Lalita originally had some marbles in the ratio of 4:9. Then Lalita gave away some of her marbles to Raju. As a result, the ratio of number of marbles with Raju and that of Lalita is 5/6. What fraction of the total number of marbles was given by Lalita to Raju? Now, if you read this question, you will see a lot of things are interrelated. Let's see. Initially, the ratio of Raju and Lalita was 4/9. Then Lalita gave some marbles to Raju, and then the final ratio of Raju versus Lalita is becoming 5/6. The question is, whatever the value had was there with Lalita, what fraction was given by Lalita to Raju? Now, whenever you see questions like this, you know this is a question on proportion. Proportion deals with totality, which means if the ratio of Raju versus Lalita is 4:9, then the proportion of Lalita will be 9/13. Will basically be 9/13. So Lalita has 9/13. initially. And then finally, Lalita is left with 6 by 11. So Lalita had 9 upon 13. Lalita is left with 6 by 11. If you have 2 rupees and if you're left with 1 rupee, so what is the proportion left with you? It is 1 by 2, right? Similarly, if I see this and if I have to understand the proportion left with Lalita, it would be how much? It would be 6 by 11 divided by 9 upon 13. If you just solve this, it will become 6 upon 11 into 13 upon 9. Solving this, you will get the value as 26 upon 33, which means out of total one, Lalita still has 26 upon 33. If out of total, which is 1, 26 upon 33 is left with Lalita, so the quotient given away from Lalita to Raju would be 1 minus 26 upon 33, which will be 7 upon 33. Is this clear? Ishta, you got the answer right. Is this clear? Again, you do not have to consider any variable of x or y or comparing 4:9 versus 6 upon 11. You just have to understand what Lalita had, what Lalita is left with. Rishi, why did we divide? To understand. The question is how much fraction was given away. To understand how much was given away, I calculated what is left. What did I had? I repeated all of you. See, the proportion initially with Lalita was 9 upon 13. This is my original value. What is left? The leftover value 6 upon 11. This is left, right? Imagine if you have 10 rupees and someone says you're left with only 5 rupees. So what is left? The leftover is 5 upon 10, 1 by 2. And how much was given? The remaining 1 by 2. Similarly, I am dividing 6 by 11 by 9 upon 13 to understand what is left in the end. What is left with Lalita in the end? What is left? It is 6 by 11 into 13 upon 9, which is 26 upon 33. Now this is left. अगर ये बाकी है तो दिया कितना होगा? Which is nothing but 1 minus 26 upon 33, which will be 7 upon 33. Is this clear? All of you, is this clear? All of you, everyone? Clear? Clear? So these are simple questions. Now this is a beautiful question. This is actual CAT 2016 question. And I can bet many of you will ask me what is this question has to do with 1001. The question is, what is the remainder of this big number? What is the remainder of this big number when divided by 1001? What is the remainder when this big number was divided by 1001? You will say any reference book that whatever we have followed, any coaching has taught us the remainder theorem, or let's say divisibility rules of range of 1 till 20. Now this is 1001. How can I even solve this question? Come on. Is this the question coming in your head? Is there anyone who knows the rule of divisibility rule of 1001? Anyone? Say yes or no. Come on. Anyone who knows the rule of 1001? Okay. Okay, let me say, Ishta, Bindu, all of you. Do you guys know the rule of 11? Tell me yes or no. Do you guys know the rule of 11? Yes, no, yes, no, yes, no. Just say yes or no. Okay. Achha, if you have a number, let's say 1331. If you have to check whether this number is divisible by 11 or no, how do you check? You will add the ordinate numbers. You will add the ordinate numbers 1 plus 3, 4, and the second ordinate number 1 plus 3, 4. And the difference of them should be either 0 or 11. This is what a rule of 11 is. A rule of 11 is the difference of sum of the ordinate numbers. The difference of sum of the ordinate numbers should be either 0 or 11, right? That's what we know. If I have to derive the rule of 101, listen to me, dhyan se suno. If I have to find a rule of 101, taking the inspiration of 11, what I'll do is, let's say if you have a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'll start from the right hand side. I'll pick up 2 digits at a time. 56 is one number, 34 is second number, and 12 is the third number. You will do the same rule of 11. Add the ordinate numbers, which is 11 plus 56, and subtract from the second ordinate numbers. Whatever is the number remaining in the end, this would be a remainder of the number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 when divided by 101. Clear? The only difference is you have to add alternate numbers, but you are making a pair of 2. Is this clear? All of you. From 11 to 101, the only thing that you're doing is making a pair of 2 to 2. Is this clear, all of you? Yes or no? Now, if I have to make a rule of 1001, listen to me. If I have a number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 1. Okay, this is the number. What I'm going to do is I'll start from the right hand side. I'll make a pair of 3. This is one number. This is second number. This is the third number. And I have to make a pair of 3, 3, 3, 3, 3. Jyoti, if you will say the last number which is there remaining is a 2-digit number, you can add as many zeros as possible to make it look like a 3-digit number. Now you will add all the alternate numbers and you will take the subtraction of it. Clear? The rule of 1001 is start from the right hand side, make a pair of 3 digits and apply the rule of 11. Clear, everyone? So the number which I can see here is a number which is 853. You will see repetition 853, 853, 853. And there are 100 digits which are there. Just tell me one thing. Tell me one thing. I'll do it. Harshal and everyone, I'll do it. Tell me what will be the last digit of this number? 853, 853, 853. What is the 100 digit of this number? The 100 digit would be 8. Very good. The 100 digit would be 8 because 3 numbers coming 33 pairs will count for 99 digits. So the last number will again be 8. Very good. Which also gives me a sense. If I look at the last series of numbers, it will look like 853, 853, 853, 8. This is how the number will look like. Now, what do I have to check? I'll have to make a pair. Listen to me. What do I need to do? I have to make a pair of 3. So starting from the right hand side, my last pair will be 538, 538, 538, again 538, 538, 538, 538. Tell me how many 538 will come? There are 100 digits. How many 538 will come? There will be 33 538 will come. There will be 33 538 will come. And the first digit which will be left is, the only digit which will be left would be 8. Now you will get the answer quickly. Now see 538, 538, 538, 538. Such alternate numbers I need to add. And then alternate numbers I need to add here. Now see here. 538. So there will be 16 pairs. There will be 16 pairs which are only 538. And there will be 17 pairs which are 538 plus 008. Which are 538 plus 008. Right? Clear? Can I say these 16 538 will be cancelled with the 16 538 of this? And the only number which will be left is the last 538 here and 008 here. Clear? Is this clear? Yes or no? Is this clear? All the 538 will get cancelled. Only one 538 will be left and 1008 will be left. What do we do then? We take the subtraction of it. 538 minus 008. The answer will be simply 530. So the answer is simple. The answer is 530. Is this clear? Everyone out here? All of you, is this clear? Everyone? The answer is simple. The answer is simple, 530. Is this clear to all of you? Clear? Deepika, first thing, you have to make a pair of 333 from the right hand side. From the right hand side. Clear? And then you have to add the alternate numbers. There will be 2 alternate numbers, some you will get, and you have to subtract them. If you see this question, 538, 538, 538 minus 538 will get cancelled, you know. What is left? The last 538 and the first 1008. This is the final sum, and you subtract them to get the answer. Clear? Is this a beautiful question? This is actual CAT 2016 question. Is this understood to all of you? Everyone, सबको समझ में आया? Everyone? Cool. If this is clear, let's move to a 2012 question. Read this question very well. ध्यान से पढ़ो. The question says, 2 boats traveling at a speed of 5 and 10 kmph. 2 boats traveling at 5 and 10 kmph head directly towards each other. Head directly towards each other. At the beginning, there was a distance of 20 km between them. At the beginning, there was a distance of 20 km between them. The question is, how far apart are they 1 minute before they collide? So if they are moving in the opposite direction, I repeat, if they are moving in the opposite direction, obviously they will collide. Obviously they will collide. And the question for you is, if this is the distance between them in the last 1 minute, what is the distance covered by both of them together? What is the distance covered by both of them together in the last 1 minute? Seems to a slightly practical question, but this is a 10-second question. See, you guys know that boat A is moving at a speed of 5 kmph. Boat B is moving at a speed of 10 kmph. This is moving here and this is moving here. In 1 hour, in 1 hour, Arashya, in 1 hour, boat A is covering 5 kilometers. In 1 hour, boat B is covering 10 kilometers. Together they are covering 15 kilometers in 1 hour. Together they are covering 15 kilometers in 1 hour. 1 hour is 60 minutes, which means they are covering together 15 kilometers in 60 minutes. So in 1 minute, they will be able to cover 15 by 60, which is 1 by 4 kilometer, which is 1 by 4 kilometer. Now the question is, we covered, what did we do? We found out the total distance covered by them in 1 minute. Now, whatever time you're taking, the distance covered by them in the first 1 minute, second 1 minute, third 1 minute, or even the last 1 minute will actually remain the same. No? Yes or no? तुम जितना स्पीड से भागते हो डिस्टेंस, वो जो स्पीड है वो तो कांस्टेंट है. अब आखिरी के 1 मिनट में भी he will be able to cover 1 by 4. No? In the first 1 minute, 1 by 4. In the last 1 minute, also 1 by 4. Hence the answer is 1 by 4. Hence the answer is 1 by 4. Is this clear, all of you? Everyone? Is this clear? Everyone out here? All of you understood this? Everyone out here, is this clear? Clear? Very well. So awesome. Next question. Okay, let's move to the next question. 2016, it is root of 4 plus root of 4 minus root of 4 plus root of 4 minus root of 4 going ahead. And the question is, find the sum of this. Question is, find the sum of this. Juan, how shall we solve this question? या इसको साथ में करते हैं. चलो, ये क्वेश्चन आपको दिख रहा होगा यहाँ पे, root of 4 plus root of 4 minus root of 4 going ahead. And the question is, find the sum of x. The question is, find the sum of x. अच्छा, some of you will say, okay, ये तो repeated question यहाँ से दिख रहा है, यहाँ की वैल्यू और क्वेश्चन की वैल्यू सेम दिख रही है, तो तुम बोलोगे कि ये काम करो, इसको यहाँ पे x assume कर लो, and then you have to make a quadratic equation to solve this question. But this question, you can solve this without making a quadratic equation. Let's see. Imagine if the question is only till here. मान लो question बस इतना सा है. I repeat, मान लो the question is only this much. If the question is only this much, the answer would have been x is equal to 2. But the next sign is plus, which means the answer has to be 2 plus something. I repeat, the answer is 2 plus something. Yes or no? Which means the answer has to be more than 2. Yes or no? The answer has to be more than 2, right? अब अगर मान लो ये क्वेश्चन थोड़ा सा आगे जाता, ये क्वेश्चन अगर यहाँ तक होता, यहाँ तक, the question would have been like this: root of 4 plus root of 4. अब ये root of 4 कितना होता है? 2. 2 plus 4 कितना हो जाएगा? root of 6. अब root of 6 किसके बीच में आएगा? root of 4 के बीच में आएगा और root of 9 के बीच में आएगा, right? तो close to 2.4, 2.5 इसकी वैल्यू हो सकती है, right? अब अगला साइन क्या है? नेगेटिव. मतलब ये जो क्वेश्चन है will look like 2.5 minus x. भाई को क्या मिल गया? मुझे एक चीज मिली कि जो क्वेश्चन है, the answer for this question has to be more than 2, and the answer for this question has to be less than 2.5. मेरे को ये रेंज मिल चुका है. अब अगर मुझे ये रेंज मिल चुका है ना, तो इसके बाद मैं सिर्फ ये ऑप्शन देखने वाला हूँ कि कौन सा ऑप्शन हो सकता है और कौन सा ऑप्शन नहीं हो सकता है. क्लियर? अब जैसे तुम बोलोगे ऑप्शन नंबर 1 कितना है तुम्हारे पास? 3. ये तो रेंज में नहीं है, दिस इज गॉन आउट. रूट ऑफ 13 इज मोर देन 3, दिस इज गॉन आउट. सिर्फ दो ही ऑप्शन बचे. वन इज रूट ऑफ 13 minus 1 divided by 2. नेक्स्ट इज रूट ऑफ 13 plus 1 divided by 2. अब तुम लोग बताओ इन दोनों में से कौन सा आंसर है जो इस रेंज में अपने पास आएगा. Tell me which answer will fall in this category. Which of the answer will fall in this category where the answer is more than 2 and less than 2.5? Come on, tell me. Root of 13 कितना होगा? Roughly इसको 3.5 पकड़ लो. If you are saying this is option number C, it is 3.5 minus 1 divided by 2. Next option is 3.5 plus 1 divided by 2. What do you think will be the final answer? This answer will be less than 2. This answer will be close to 2.2. The answer has to be option number D. Is this clear, all of you? Everyone? All of you, is this clear? Everyone out here in the session? Clear? These are repeated questions. अगर मैं इसको वापस से दिखा दूं ना कहीं पे, अगर इस क्वेश्चन को आपको वापस से कराऊंगा उस क्वेश्चन को, ऐसा एक और क्वेश्चन कराऊंगा मैं आपको, ठीक है? आपको ज्योमेट्री की क्वेश्चन करके देखना है. देखते हैं इस क्वेश्चन को आप अच्छे से कर सकते हो या टेक्निकल जो आपका स्टीरियोटाइप मेथड है उससे सॉल्व करोगे. 2016 question. Let's solve this. The question says in the given figure below, ABCD is a square. In the given figure below, ABCD is a square. It is given that BP to PM. A BP to PM. My bad. I hope you guys are able to hear me. Yeah. Yes. Cool. So DP to PM is 4:1 and DP to PM, this part, this is 3 parts and this is 2 parts, 3:2. And the question is find the ratio of length of CN to CM. How shall we solve this question? Now I'll give you the most beautiful way to solve this question. Dhyan se sunna. All of you listen to me very clearly. Let's divide as per the ratio. BP to PM is 4:1. We know BP to PM is 4:1. So इसको 4 part में तोड़ते हैं. Let's say part number 1. Listen to me very clearly. Part number 1, part number 2, part number 3. So BP is how many parts? 1, 2, 3, and 4. One second. Just a second. I'll help you out with the most beautiful way to solve these questions. Okay. Now we know BP to PM, I have to club in 4 parts. Let's say this is part 1. ये नीचे का जो PM है ना, ये एक पार्ट बना. नीचे का जो PM है, वो एक पार्ट बना. अब इसके ऊपर मुझे 4 पार्ट बनाने हैं. Part number 1, 2, 3 and 4. 1, 2, 3 and 4. Let's say वो 4. ये जो एक ब्लॉक है ना, वो एक ब्लॉक सेम है. PM का लेंथ तुमको बड़ा दिख रहा होगा, लेकिन ये भी एक ही है. अब तुमको बोला गया हुआ है, अब तुमको बोला हुआ है कि अब तुम वापस से DP to PM 3:2 के रेशियो बनाओ. DP to PM 3:2 के रेशियो बनाओ. पॉइंट कहाँ मीट हो रहा है? पॉइंट यहाँ पे मीट हो रहा है. तो यहाँ पे मुझे 2 पार्ट्स चाहिए और यहाँ पे मुझे 3 पार्ट्स चाहिए. जैसे मान लो ये एक पार्ट बन गया, ये एक पार्ट बन गया और ये तीसरा पार्ट बन गया. अब ये फिगर जो मैंने बनाया हुआ है, ये एज पर द रेशियो मैंने बनाया हुआ है, विच इज BP to PM 4:1, DP to PM 3:2. अब क्वेश्चन करना कितना आसान है तुम बताओगे. अब तुमको क्या पूछा हुआ है? Find the ratio of CN. CN is this part and CM is this part. What do you think will be the final answer for this question? CM तक कितने ब्लॉक्स गए? एक और एक, 2 ब्लॉक्स. और CN तक कितने ब्लॉक्स आए? CM तक 1, 2, 3. Do you agree with me that the final answer for this question will simply be 2:3? Do you agree with me the final answer for this question will be as simple as 2:3? Yes or no? Everyone out here in the session? All of you? Clear? So majority of the questions which are asking you about the questions on ratio, see, that totally depends on this symmetry. I'll help you out with one more question and you'll be able to solve this in a better way also. Like this question. The question says ABCDEF is a regular hexagon. Okay. And FO is parallel to ED. FO is parallel to ED. The question is, what is the ratio of the triangle which is AOF? What is the ratio of the triangle which is AOF with the hexagon which is ABCDEF? Clear? Any hexagon, obviously you'll be able to break them into equilateral triangles. How many equilateral triangles? You'll just be able to see this, provided your understanding of symmetry is very much clear. That's it. So you are saying the length was not same. The length was not same visibly. The length was not visibly same, but the actual length was similar, right? It was basically a square. It seemed like solve this question and then you will be able to repeat the previous question. Don't worry. How about the answer for this question? The only part and the best way to solve this question is breaking them into multiple subparts and counting the number of parts. It's visible to you. The answer for this question will simply be 1:12. All of you will get the answer right in this question. All these questions, whatever you see here, they're all symmetry-based questions. All symmetry-based questions. If you will say that the length is not similar, if you're saying this length is not similar, we've got to assume they are similar because the ratio is 4:1. This doesn't seem they are equal. This is not equal to this, but ideally, as per the question, they are equal. The four parts of this question, the four parts of BP is equivalent to one part of PM. That's what the question is, right? So we have to assume they are equal. Either you make a new diagram or you got to visualize, you got to assume that they equal hai. 1/4 of PB, 1/4 of PB is equal to PM. You have to assume that. Yeah. If you break them, it's going to become very, very easy. Very, very easy to solve these questions. In fact, any question you take, you'll be able to solve these questions. The best possible methods is what we're looking at. The question will not change. The only thing which will change is the approach for solving these questions. Even whenever you see questions which are based on logs, ideally, even if you see questions which are based on logs or series, if you see this question, the question has a variable n. I repeat, what is the logic? The question has a variable n and all the options have the same variable n. The best possible way to solve these questions is by using substitution. And what is the easiest value of n that you can put? The easiest value of n which I can put is always 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. If n becomes 1, then the question would have been only till here. If the value of n is only 1, then the answer would have been only this much, which is 1 divided by log n to the log 9 to the base 3. What is the value of log 9 to the base 3? This is 1 divided by log 3 to 3 square, which is 1/2. The only thing which you need to put is put n is equal to 1, put n is equal to 1, n is equal to 1, and n is equal to 1. See which of the option is giving you the final answer is 1/2. If you put 1 here, this will be 1 and 2, 1 plus 1, 2/2, 1. This is only 1. I need the answer to be as what? I need the answer as 1/2. Where will you get 1/2? You will get the answer as 1/2 only here, which is 1 into 2 divided by 4, which is 1/2. Clear? These questions you will never ever forget or tend to not solve in the paper. Questions on probability, again, whenever you see questions which have variable n, you just have to consider the smallest value of n which can be possible. Any topic it may be of. The question says, 2015 question, 2 dices are thrown together n number of times. 2 dices are thrown together n number of times in succession. Find the probability. Find the probability of obtaining 1. Find the probability of obtaining 1 on the top of both the dices in at least one of the throws. The n number of times the dices have been thrown. What is the probability of getting 1 on the top faces of the dice on at least one of the throws is the question. Now imagine if the event has not even happened. Imagine if the event has not even happened. Then the value of n will be as simple as 0. Agar event hua hi nahi, so probability of getting 1 would be also 0, right? The best practice is putting the value of n as 0 and see where do you get the probability 0. Come on. Anything raised to 0 will be 1. This is 1. This is 1. This is 1 by 36. Option number 2. This is anything raised to 0 will again become 1. 1 minus 1 is again 0. Hence, the answer for this question will again be simply option number 2. Is this clear? Everyone out here? All of you? Is this clear? Aman, what did I tell you? I told you only one thing. Imagine if the number of events happening is 0. अगर इवेंट हुआ ही नहीं होता तो प्रोबेबिलिटी कितनी होती? प्रोबेबिलिटी भी 0 होती. तो इसको 0 बना दो. Make it 0 and see where do you get probability finally to be equal to 0. You will get only here. Clear? All of you? Yeah. Also, I wanted to help you out understand how does, so I mean, what is the importance of solving previous year n number of papers? Lot many times the paper, whichever year you are taking, they will be influenced by previous year papers. But there are even times when they have given you the exact same question. Though we are not solving this question, but we are here to understand how does a repetition of the question happens. 2019 question, just look at this question. The question says, Funky Pizzeria was required to supply pizzas to 3 different parties. The total number of pizzas was delivered was 800, 70% was delivered to party 3, and the rest was distributed to party 1 and party 2. So pizza had some varieties, thin crust, deep dish. This could be a normal pizza or this could be an extra cheese pizza. So varieties of pizza, which is thin crust, non-cheese, and the distribution to number of parties ratio has been given to you. 2019 paper. This was exactly a question in the year 2014. I repeat, this was exactly a question of the year 2014 where they had given you some other variable, but the format was exactly similar. Proportion of male with and male and female, vegetarian, non-vegetarian in standard 11th and 12th has been given to you. If you see this table, 0.6, 0.55, 0.475, just one variable, 0.475 has become 0.375. Otherwise, this is exactly similar. They're all same format. That's why it is at the most required for you to solve n number of papers as much as possible. Clear? Your mock test questions, your previous year questions will be a Bible for you, so that if anything comes back from those years, you at least be safeguarded to not waste my time. Clear? And you know how to approach those kind of questions. Clear, Mohit? Recording will be available. We'll be sharing it with you. Don't worry. Clear? So there's so many patterns in which questions will come up. So many patterns. Clear? These questions are repeated questions. They are lookalike questions. Even if you go ahead with the question, just like this, I told you how to solve this question, right? Okay, just make it, if the question was only till here, what I will do is simply, if the question, imagine, was only till here, the answer would have been 1 by 2. The answer is 1 by 2 plus something, which means the answer has to be less than 1 by 2. The answer has to be less than 1 by 2. Will you ever mark questions or options like this? You will never mark options like this. The only thing that you need to check is which of these 2 options will be less than 2 and to what proportion. Clear? So these are the best beautiful methods which you need to incorporate in your preparation plan to make sure you're able to solve these questions with the best possible ability. And to help you guys more, we have got someone who has a previous year 99.9 percentile. It's a guy called as Ankur. Ankur, are you able to hear me? Just a second. Ankur, hi, can you hear me?
Hi, Abhijit, sir. Hi, everyone.
Hey,
Am I audible?
All of you out here are, is everyone able to hear Ankur? Everyone out in the session? Right. So, Ankur, your exact CAT percentile was 19.85, if I'm not wrong, right?
It was 99 point, yes, sir. It was 99.80 and 99.9 in quants.
So amazing. So I want you to, share your experience with respect to your preparation journey. How did you prepare your overall profile? What are you doing as of now? And help the set of students who have joined us as of now to make them readily prepared for the last 6 weeks of the milestone which you have set. Okay. So Ankur will be discussing with you again the important key patterns and the questions and the types of questions that you need to focus on. And then he has also made a Gantt chart for you to make you understand the importance of the last 6 weeks, what you need to do, which as per him would be the best possible suited method and let's say the agenda which you need to keep to make you prepare for the CAT Practical examination. Over to you, Ankur. If you can just, uh, are you able to share your own screen also in this session?
I should be able to answer.
Yeah, just check it. Adela also is there in the session. Adela, can you hear me?
Sir, I can hear you.
Hi, Adela. I hope you're doing well. Thank you for taking time
Yeah.
out.
Yes, sir, all good. Hope you're doing good as well.
Amazing. So Adela is also a first year student of IM Code, and she will also be sharing her experience with respect to preparation plan, which you need to keep. So I want Adela and Ankur to spend some good time on the given slides, which you can see. Adela, I hope you're able to see this, right?
Yes, sir.
So Adela will be sharing the perspective of VARC section for all of you. And with the desired expertise, Ankur will be sharing the importance of the LRDI and the quant section. Ankur, you can just begin this session and I would ask Adela to intervene at the necessary time.
Sure. Thank you, Abhijit sir. So I think I'll quickly begin by introducing myself. I had given CAT in 2018. And like Abhijit sir mentioned, I had gotten a 99.8 there with a 99.9 in quant. So one of the things that I think will be important here before we begin the overall plan, let's say for each section, for each type of student, etc. Why do you all think that the CAT as the format of CAT? So for example, there are 3 sections in CAT. One is a quant section, which is a lot around numbers, slightly lesser around geometry. The number of questions, for example, from arithmetic, from let's say various topics of arithmetics is slightly higher, and let's say geometry is slightly lower. Similarly, let's say, why do we have out of let's say 24 questions in the pattern nowadays, why do we have 16 questions from RCs? And let's say 8 questions again from some kind of verbal reasoning. And similarly, LRDI, why do we not have a set pattern to the kind of LRDI questions that can be asked? Like, why is it usually, there are new kinds of sets, new kinds of problem statements every year in LRDI? Any idea around why this exactly happens? Would anyone want to, let's say, answer that? Feel free to unmute also if
I don't think so they'll be able to do it. So I think they can just put their responses in the chat box only. So Ankur, you could just share your perspective towards it so that they can chat in the chat box also in the meantime.
Sure. So I think Ishita has mentioned to check our skills to deal a particular set. They want to check data processing analysis. Yes, all of that. So what happens is essentially CAT is an MBA entrance exam, right? Now what they want to check is when you get into the MBA, how well will you be able to do it? So for example, let's say if you get into the finance domain, or in general, let's say you get into operations, you get into jo bhi majors, minors you take, you will always, let's say as a manager, as a senior manager, as a CEO, etc., whichever path you go in, you will always have to crunch numbers. You will always have to, let's say, analyze profit. Let's say let's say in simple words, let's say if I'm generating a revenue of 100 rupees, उसमें से let's say 30% of my cost will be employee salary. So मेरे पास 70 rupees बचे. उसमें से let's say again some percentage will be, let's say, my fixed cost, like let's say infrastructure cost, etc., etc. So eventually it is all about numbers. Let's say now you are into investment banking. I'm sure a lot of you will have investment banking as your dream roles. Even I had that at one point. So again, that will be all around numbers. So what essentially I'm trying to say here is in the quant section, they are trying to see how well are you able to observe numbers. And again, these are not very, very difficult questions. All of it will be around, let's say, profit loss, addition, subtraction, multiplication, division. Essentially, that is what your quant section will be around. Now, secondly, when it comes to LRDI, now what happens is, again, as a manager, or let's say after I do my MBA, wherever I will go, mere paas, the company will never tell me the solution to a problem and ask me to just execute it. कि अच्छा ये problem हम face कर रहे हैं, इसको आप execute, मतलब इसको इस तरीके से solve करना, now you please solve it. The problems will be given to us mostly, but हमें कभी भी solution नहीं मिलेगा. And these problems can be very these problems can be बहुत random से problems हो सकते हैं. We might in 90% of the cases हमने ऐसा कोई let's say business problem पहले नहीं किया होगा. कि let's say for example it can be as simple as, let's say in the southwest region of, let's say, Gujarat, let's say I'm working in Amul, okay? So let's say in the southwest region of Gujarat, we have been facing a problem of declining revenues decline हो रहे हैं वहां से पिछले 3 महीने से. How do we improve it? So this is very open-ended. There is no, let's say, there is no fixed structure to it. कैसे करेंगे? So all of this, again, like the LRDS section is also very similar to it. Like you will have some data points. So similarly, when you try to analyze this problem of Amul, आपके पास थोड़े data points होंगे. For example, अच्छा वहां पे कितने centers हैं, कितना exact revenue dip हो रहा है every month, वगैरह वगैरह, and you will have to plug and play all of that, and you will have to come to a solution. So again, LRDI checks that. And verbal, again, what happens is in verbal is, I think Adila ma'am will be able to take it, like also elaborate on it. But at a very high level, verbal, what happens is, again, throughout your business life, like after your MBA, throughout your business life, you will be writing emails, you will be reading emails, you will be writing documents, you will be reading documents. Let's say you have a meeting, you will be always given pre-reads that, okay, this is the agenda of the meeting. So you will always have to read and understand what is the person trying to say, because the other person might not be the best writer of things. So you will have to understand उसमें से क्या समझना है, क्या नहीं समझना है, what things to assume, what things to not assume, etc. So that is why there is so much of importance of RC. So does this make sense? Because this is exactly what you will be using in your business life. So again, don't look at it as CAT prep. CAT prep is one, let's say, portion of it. This preparation is also helping you compete and, let's say, excel in front of everyone outside, like after your MBA life also. So that is very important. Now, when it comes to, let's say, Adila ma'am, would you like to, let's say, add any point to this? Please feel free to.
Adila, if you can just unmute yourself here.
Yeah. Thanks, Ankur.
Yeah.
So that was very, like whatever points you've covered, when I was preparing, I wasn't aware of it. But now that I'm also going through the entire B school journey, I understand how much the preparation has helped, not only with respect to CAT, but also with respect to the day-to-day activities that we do in MBA. So as you mentioned that VRC reading, even I used to question why there is so much importance to reading comprehensions when there are so many other things that they could question with respect to VRC. But now I understand every day for example, at Coricode, at least every day we have caselets and case studies which we need to go through, which is around like 20 to 30 pages. So that only comes with practice. It's not like, you wake up and then you all of a sudden you go through 20, 30 pages and solve a case. That's not how it works. So be it my CAT preparation or whatever I prepared with respect to interviews and all of those things have helped me throughout in the current 4 to 6 months which I've been at Coricode. And another thing is, while reading, you try to read not just like with respect to one domain. You read with respect to, let's say, current affairs, what is happening with respect to the world. And all of these things gets covered in your subjects. There's economics, there's finance, and all of these domains. It's just not numbers and domain knowledge that you need, but also what's happening with respect to the world. How are you going to apply the practical knowledge with respect to world? So all of these things, I think the base starts off with your CAT preparation. So that is with respect to VARC. And when it comes to DLR and quants, it might seem like, that there will always be a new set. You can practice 100 to 200 sets, or I used to practice like 400 sets, but still there will always be a new set in the exam. So I think it is more about not the knowledge that you possess, but how are you going to apply that knowledge in the questions that they're going to ask. So that lays the foundation to what you're going to do with respect to MBA and post MBA, I feel. So, yeah.
So how was the last 1 month? Not with respect to Coricode, but the preparation plan for the interview last year. I mean, the challenges which you faced, what all things were going in your head and how did you overcome the challenges and the shortcomings there? Yeah.
So while talking from the other side, now I might sound a little bit confident, but I've been on the other side, and I was that person who was very underconfident. I even told sir, should I even give the exam? Like, should I even go for another attempt and then, like take one more year? Because it was already my second attempt last year. So I was very underconfident. I was not prepared. So what I'm trying to say is you still have time. Even if you're like starting from like, let's say 20% or 30%, only given 2 or 3 mocks, there's still so much time left. There's still so much things that you could achieve in the last 1 month. It is very crucial with terms of preparation, as well as with respect to giving mocks and analyzing mocks as well. So my experience, I would say, yeah, it was very hectic. I was working also. Because I was working, I was in consulting, so I had to work 12 to 14 hours and I did not get any holidays. But then the main thing is you need to prioritize. So for me, I really needed the MBA, and there was a point when I had to join this year. So I had to prioritize, and all my weekends and after post work, everything, I started giving in more time with respect to mocks, as well as like preparation also side by side was going on in like quants and all. I did not complete my geometry portions, but the main thing is I concentrated on mocks, and I would suggest the same for all of you as well, because that's when you realize where are your positives, where are your negatives, and whatever strategy you come up with on the D-Day, it might work, it might not work. Because there are things that you can control and there are things that you can't control. Like, for example, LRDI, I thought I was very strong in LR, but on the day of the examination, I had to attempt only DI sets, because the LR set, which for my slot K, was very difficult. So just be open to new changes. Just whatever you practice, keep on practicing. And on the D-Day, whatever comes out of portions, or let's say something which you're not prepared for, just take it with a pinch of salt. And the 2 hours examination, just completely give your best. Whatever happens, rest is beyond you. So that would be my suggestion.
Thank you. Thank you so much, Arila. I'm sure your perspective will add a lot of value to their preparation in the last 1 month also. And I'm hopeful that a lot of juniors from this batch will also join you next year, so that you can guide them further in your Kozhikode campus too.
Looking forward for it, sir.
Thank you, Arila, for taking time. Thank you so much. Thank you. Yeah, I'm good. Yes.
Sure. So thanks, Adila. Thanks a lot. I think that gives a very good perspective. And just one point to add over there, CAT is like right now it's a 2-hour exam. How do you decide ki acha, this person is, let's say, a good fit for an MBA in 2 hours? This person, let's say some other person, is not a very good fit, or let's say that person still needs to polish himself or herself based on a 2-hour exam. Is it pure academics? I don't think so, because CAT, like a lot of, I think, industry veterans say, it is more of a stress management exam. Because again, in your corporate life, you will be put across a lot of stress. You will have very, very tight deadlines. So again, in my job itself, so I work in the product side of things, in the product management domain. There are times when we are told that we need to complete something in the next half an hour, and that needs to be presented to very, very high level people across the company. So again, half an hour, I do not have a lot of time then to think, how will I do it, etc. It's like you have to manage your emotions, your stress, and you have to bring out the best in yourself in those half an hour, 1 hour, or in those 2 hours. So I think the CAT also expects that from you to a great extent. So sure. So I think, yeah, right now what we can do is, how many weeks do we have to CAT right now? Exactly 6 weeks, right? It's exactly 6 weeks, 6 Sundays. The 6th Sunday from after today will be your CAT exam. So here, what I've tried to do is, we have tried dividing the overall preparation plan for the next 6 weeks into 2 sections. So one, essentially, if you religiously follow, again, if you religiously follow this, you can take my word on it that you will definitely score anywhere between 85 to 95 percentile. If you follow this plan over the next 6 weeks diligently. It is not a very, very stressed out plan or something that will, for which you will require, let's say, 12, 14 hours a day. A decent 3 to 4 hours a day, 5 to 6 days a week will do the trick for you. So let's say anyone who has just begun, anyone who is not very comfortable, not very acquainted with CAT, मैंने अभी ही चालू किया है, मेरे percentile, let's say, is between 50-60 percentile, let's say it's even less than 50, it's in the range 60-70 percentile. Trust me, this will help you get a very substantial jump, because here again, the thought process behind doing this, like creating this kind of a preparation plan is to optimize kya CAT mein pucha jata hai. Let's focus on that. Let's focus on what is asked in the CAT, what will gain me marks. So ye sabse zyada important hai. So let's say what should be the plan to reach a healthy 85 to 95 percentile in CAT. In the first week, what we can do is, so again, in terms of quants first, we will first focus on arithmetic, because arithmetic is about 60 to 65, 70% of the entire paper. And out of that, so let's say out of 22 questions that you'll have in math, about 12 to 14 of them will be from arithmetic. Take my word on it. वो arithmetic से ही होंगे, and out of these, let's say 14 arithmetic questions, 6 to 7 will be very simple, 3 to 4 will be moderate difficulty, 3 to 4 will be slightly hard questions. So 6 to 7 हम कर सकते हैं crack. These out of 14 arithmetic, these 6 to 7 questions is what we'll be aiming. कि ये तो करना ही करना है with this preparation plan. So what we can do is from tomorrow, Monday, and what we have done is we have split the week into 3 or 4 chunks. So one chunk is Monday, Tuesday as a whole, Wednesday, Thursday as a whole, then Friday, Saturday, and then Sunday we will just relax, give our brain that, you know, the much needed relaxation it deserves and requires. So Monday, let's start. What we can do is let's start with time, speed, and distance. And this 2 questions here is how much are we expecting based on the trend of the last couple of years. जब से ये 2 घंटे का exam हुआ है. So time, speed, and distance will definitely have 2 questions. Unless, let's say, sometimes it might have 3, it might have 1, but 80% of the times it will have 2 questions, time, speed, and distance. Now, in terms of time, speed, and distance, what is it that we want to cover? There are, time, speed, and distance again is a huge area in itself. What is it that we want to cover in time, speed, and distance? Important things. One is relative velocity. So this is a lot around, let's say, trains. Ki, acha, ek train ka. So trains is one favorite, this thing of test papers, one favorite subtopic of test paper setters. Ki ek train hai, let's say 2 trains are crossing each other. They are, let's say, in the opposite direction. They are, let's say, in the same direction. So wahan pe relative velocity ka concept aa jata hai. So please do relative velocity very well. Similarly, races. Let's say there is a race in which A defeated B by 30 seconds, or let's say by 1000 meters, and B defeated C by, let's say, another 100 meters. So let's say unke beech ka find the ratio of their speeds, or let's say something of that sort. So races becomes important. Then river based problems become important, are pretty important. Let's say the speed of going upstream on a river is, let's say, 30 km per hour, and coming downstream is, let's say, 45 km per hour. So let's say if the river stops, what will be our, in how much time will you reach from the top to the bottom, or from the bottom to the top? So all of these cover your essential crux of time, speed, and distance, and please make sure that we are doing this fairly well. And again, TSD questions have become lesser calculative. There are, like, you do not require, let's say, 100 formulae to be remembered. Just try to remember the basic concept that you have learned in class, and just try applying them in the exam. Now, in the first week, when it comes to LRDI, what I would strongly recommend is spend 2 days on Venn diagrams. Spend 2 days on Venn diagrams, 4 sets each. It is very doable. Like, you have to spend, let's say, 2 hours each on Monday and Tuesday, 2 hours on, 2 hours on time, speed, and distance each, and let's say 2 hours on LRDI each. So basically, Monday and Tuesday, you are just spending 4 hours on quants, 4 hours on LRDI. That's pretty doable. And when you talk about Venn diagrams, solve 4 questions on 3-point Venn diagrams. You will find that across. Aapko wo koi bhi preparation material mein mil jayega. You will get it in past CAT papers, etc. And solve 4-point Venn diagrams also. So 4-point Venn diagram, again, it was asked in CAT 2019. I distinctly remember. So 4 questions ya 6 questions aaye the from 4-point Venn diagram, because that was an entire set. And again, 2020 mein it was asked. So please do Venn diagrams very well, and this will help you in quants also. So the first 2 days, let's say 1/3 of the first week, we'll go with time, speed, distance, and we'll go with Venn diagrams. Uske baad mein, again, in quants, what we'll do is time, speed, distance ke baad, let's take ratios and proportions. Ratio, proportion, percentages. And in LRDI, what we'll be doing is we'll be doing pie chart based sets, because pie chart again is one of those favorite DILR aspects जो कि पूछते ही पूछते हैं. Like let's say every 2 years there'll be one question on pie charts, either one question on pie chart or let's say bar graph based this thing. इनमें से एक question तो definitely आपको हर इसमें आएगा. So let's say this year, let's say for if this year the focus was on pie charts for the examiners, the next year it will be on bar graphs, because again आप B school में जाओगे, let's say a lot of these will be just graphs, right? Statistics आपको पढ़ना होगा बहुत सारे reports में. जब आप business school में जाओगे, उसके बाद में you will have charts जिसमें let's say pie chart वगैरह is very common in business also. जब भी आप presentation बनाते हो, pie charts are always a part of those presentation की what is the split between various regions. Let's say 80% in Mumbai, 30% in let's say somewhere else, 20% somewhere else. So LRDI this week essentially will be Venn diagrams, pie charts and bar graphs. Okay, until Friday. And when it comes to quants, on Wednesday and Thursday, what we'll be doing is we'll try to do ratio, proportion, percentages. Okay, so this ratios and proportions again is pretty important. Ratios mein again every year there are at least 2 questions from ratio, proportion and percentage. In fact, on let's say in certain years you will have 3 questions from ratio, proportion and percentages. So do make sure that ratios, proportions and percentages bhi karte hain hum अच्छे से. And then Friday keep it for mixtures. Mixtures is basically what? Mixtures is nothing but it is an extension of ratios and proportions and percentages. तीनों को आप mix कर दोगे जब, you put a little bit of word problems in it, that is when you'll have mixtures. So mixtures is just application of ratio, proportion, percentage. Keep it for Friday. Keep it for one day. Okay. Now, when it comes to verbal, in the first week, what we'll be doing is we'll be only focusing on RCs. We'll try to, let's say, get a hang of RCs. We'll try to, let's say, get a 75% accuracy in RCs. Anywhere between, by 75% accuracy, what I mean is, let's say if I'm attempting 4 RC, मैं एक RC में let's say 4 questions होते हैं. So I want to attempt at least 3 of them correctly. So Wednesday and Thursday, do 3 RCs each. Similarly, Friday, do 3 RCs. So in a total of these 3 days, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, we are doing a total of 9 RCs. And 9 RCs is a good number because CAT में देखो, CAT में आपको 4 RCs आएंगे. उसमें से कितने attempt करने हैं, we'll come to that a little later. CAT में कितने attempt करने हैं, कैसे attempt करने हैं. But yeah, 3 RCs, please do it. Like by next, let's say by the end of the coming Friday, you should be standing on 9 to 10 RCs that you have completed. Please do that. It will be worth it. I can guarantee you that. Now, when it comes to RCs, like Adila ma'am had also mentioned, there can be, so RC एक ही type का मत करो. Don't do, so let's say if I'm a BCom or let's say BA economics student, I'm only doing economics based RCs. Don't do that. Let's say if I'm a history student, I'm only doing, let's say, philosophy or history based RCs. Don't do that. 3 RC करना है ना दिन के. Take any RC book. Take, let's say, MBAP's material. You'll have a lot of different kind of RCs there. So let's say, what are the various buckets of RCs? ये भी आप note कर सकते हो. This is important because in buckets में से ही कोई ना कोई आएगा आपको main exam में. One is usually around business. कि let's say ये कंपनी थी, इसमें ये प्रॉब्लम स्टेटमेंट था, इन्होंने इस तरीके से उसको इंप्रूव किया, तो उसमें there will be 3 or 4 paragraphs about business. So one can be a business oriented RC. One can be an economics oriented RC, that it is talking about some economic theory, because again, economic theories from the paper setter's point of view, economic theories are important when you do an MBA. So इसके लिए economic theories पे पूछेंगे वो RCs. Third could be something around history. Something around, let's say, how, for example, how did something could be around, let's say, something around Mughals, something around the Indian Empire 300 years back, something of that sort. Then again, one common this thing is slightly around philosophy kind of RCs. So philosophical RCs is also you should be practicing. Okay, so these are the various kind of RCs. Try to conquer various kinds of RCs जब आप करोगे. Okay, so that will be very important. Now Saturday, what we'll do is the last day. So we have done something, correct? आई एम अज्यूमिंग इन द फर्स्ट 5 days और रादर इन द नेक्स्ट 5 days हमने एटलीस्ट 15 to 17 आवर्स का एफर्ट डाला होगा बेर मिनिमम अक्रॉस 5 days ना, पर डे बेरली 3 to 4 hours, तो उतना तो हमने डाला होगा एफर्ट. Now what we need to do is we need to give a mock test. Mock tests are very, very important. If you see here, every Saturday every Saturday is for a mock test. ठीक है, तो mock test देना बहुत जरूरी है, and that's an entire mock test. ऐसे नहीं कि मैंने क्वांट सेक्शन, मैंने वर्बल सेक्शन अभी दिया, फिर ब्रेक लिया, चिल किया, फिर LRDS सेक्शन लिया, फिर मैंने लेट्स से वापस ब्रेक लिया, एंड देन मैंने quant section दिया. It's not how we'll do it. We'll take the entire mock in one go. ठीक है, because what is happening is mock is not just to let's say identify कि आपको क्या आता है क्या नहीं आता है. That is one very, very important aspect of it. Second important aspect is for those 2 hours of exam you have to mentally and physically prepare yourself, and physically prepare करना खुद को. आपको वो टाइम पे नींद ना आए, let's say chair थोड़ा सा uncomfortable हो, तो that is not something that should bother you at the time of the exam. Right, let's say background में थोड़ी noise हो रही है, that is not something that should bother you at the time of the exams. Correct, because those 2 hours will be make and break for us. So making yourself mentally and physically very, very comfortable with the with sitting for 2 hours and pressure में let's say questions karna is what our body and our mind will require to perform well on the day of the CAT. So these mocks will be very, very important. And then Sunday you can just keep it for relaxing. Just you need that one day of leisure in the entire week. So this is how your first week will look like. In quants, what are the important subtopics, etc. We'll take all of them together after, let's say, we go through this plan. Now in the second week we'll have a similar kind of an approach. What we'll do is in quants we'll go with averages, because averages will have 1 to 2 questions. Usually 2 questions आते हैं, but कभी let's say कम पूछना होगा तो उन्होंने एक क्वेश्चन तो डेफिनेटली आएगा averages से. So averages is pretty important. So Monday and Tuesday for the second week we'll do averages and solve 30 questions for all of these. Time, speed and distance 30 questions, ratio, proportion, percentage 30 questions, mixtures 30 questions, 25 to 30 questions आप कर रहे हो solve. I guarantee you the level 1 questions, the easy questions, you will be able to solve. You will be able to get at least 6 to 7 questions from arithmetic right. If you are, let's say, doing 25 to 30 questions of these in your practice, like in your practice right now. So in the second week for quants, we'll aim on averages, because उसमें से एक या दो questions आते हैं. We'll again aim on profit and loss. Profit and loss is very, very important for CAT also and after CAT also. In life, profit and loss is important. For example, let's say if I am a shopkeeper earning, because shopkeepers, for example, can earn a lot. मैंने MBA तो नहीं किया हुआ है, ना ही मैंने मैथ में कोई डिग्री ली हुई है, but I would be the most efficient person in profit and loss. So profit and loss is very, very important. So 1 to 2 questions on average, 1 to 2 on profit and loss, and then simple and compound interest. In इसके questions are more around the formula. Simple and compound interest का थोड़ा ज़्यादा formula oriented होगा, especially compound interest का. ठीक है, compound interest तो 90% of the time will be formula based. Simple interest depends. Sometimes formula, sometimes slightly more logic. So one day on simple interest, compound interest should suffice, because इसमें anyway there are 2 or 3 formulae only, like the main 2 or 3 formulae. Now when it comes to verbal, what we'll be doing is RC तो हमें करना है. ठीक है, RC तो हमने जो first week में habit बनाया है 3 RCs per day करने का, वो हमें करना है. उसके साथ साथ let's also, so RCs are 16 questions, then usually 2 or 3 questions are summaries, para summaries. What are para summaries? Basically it is very similar to RC. उसमें आपको क्या देंगे, आपको एक passage देंगे of let's say 4 or 5 lines. So RC is usually let's say 15-16 lines. Your para summary के लिए passage will be anywhere between 4 to 6 lines, and उसमें आपको एक line में then you have to summarize कि अच्छा what is the best summary of this particular passage. So what we'll do is in the second week RCs तो हमने ठीक है, now we have started getting a hold of RCs. Now the second target in verbal will be summaries करना, because summaries again I was trying to, like in the last 3-4 days I was trying to analyze कि RCs तो हमें करना ही करना है. Between summaries, para jumbles and out of context, like the other 3 kinds of questions, सबसे ज़्यादा scoreable कौन सा है, सबसे ज़्यादा easy कौन सा है. So if we are doing RCs, the second lowest hanging fruit जिसको बोलते हैं कि हाँ मतलब हमें effort कम डालना पड़ेगा but उसको correct करने का probability ज़्यादा is summaries according to me. So please practice 5 summaries every day. Each summary will take you 3 to 4 minutes. So 20-25 minutes to डाल सकता है ना for 10 or let's say 9 additional marks in CAT. Every day you have to just put 20-25 minutes on summaries. ठीक है. Now in terms of LRDI again, what we'll be doing is ranking based sets. So rankings is usually again a very favorite or a very common reappearing kind of set in LRDI. So ranking में basically क्या होता है? Let's say, I think everyone knows what ranking based sets are, right? कि let's say there are 15 people. Now the third person, let's say Ram, will always come before Sham. ठीक है? तो हमें ये नहीं पता कितना before, but he will always come before Sham. And for example, Sita will always be after Sham. So basically you have some of these relations, you have some of these conditions, and उसके basis पे आपको ranking निकालनी होती है कि first कौन है, second कौन है, third कौन है. So these are again very commonly occurring sets. So make sure Monday and Tuesday of the second week we are doing, let's say 4-5 sets at least, or let's say 3 sets. So a total of 6 sets for LRDI. 3 let's say Monday को किया, 3 हमने Tuesday को किया. ठीक है. Now Wednesday, Thursday, what we'll do for LRDI is linear and circular arrangements, because again this is a very this linear and circular arrangements is again very close to the heart of paper setters. So we'll try to do this also, linear and circular arrangements. Again, like 3 sets or 4 sets, Wednesday, Thursday, a total of anywhere between 6 to 8 sets, and then complex arrangements. Now, these are again, this is some extension of linear or circular arrangement, जिसमें आप थोड़ा सा ज़्यादा complicate कर रहे हो question को, which is let's say the level 3 difficulty level questions of CAT LRDI. ठीक है. So this is what we'll be doing in the first 2 weeks in terms of preparation. And again, like I mentioned, Saturday will be for mock test and mock analysis. Mock analysis कैसे करना है? We'll come to that slightly later. We'll come to that, let's say, towards the end of this plan. ठीक है. Okay, now for week 3, 4, 5, I'll slightly rush because I think you're able to get the context of what we are trying to do, like where we are trying to get here. Now in week 3 again, time work and partnerships is very important. Please trust me, it's important. And इसमें एक या दो methods ही हैं solve करने के. So if you are able to, let's say, do 25 questions from time work. Time work is basically Ram completes a job in 3 days, Sham completes it in 5 days. So Ram and Sham साथ में कितने दिन में कर पाएंगे? Of those sorts, and let's say variations to that. Now partnerships is something like let's say Ankur and Abhijit sir started a business. And let's say Ankur invested 15,000, Abhijit sir invested 20,000. At the end of 1 year, the total profit was 30,000. So and let's say the profit is to be divided in the proportion of किसने कितना invest किया था. So in the end, दोनों के बीच में how will the profit be divided? So partnerships is again, partnerships and time and work is nothing but an application of ratio, proportion, percentages. So time and work pe, I can guarantee you, time, work and partnerships, you will have 2 questions. Worst case scenario, at least 1 question आएगा ही आएगा आपके पास. Again, these will be easy questions. 80% of the times, time, work and partnerships pe questions are not very complicated. ठीक है. Then in the 3rd week, what we'll also try to get a hold of is quadratic equations. Now quadratic equations, because यहाँ तक अभी algebra is more or less done. Like जो main चीजें हैं algebra की, that will help us get to those 5, 6, 7 easy questions right, is done. I am very sure at least 2 or 3 medium difficulty questions also will be able to solve, which with just this 7 to 8 days of preparation. ठीक है. Then what we'll do is we'll in the 3rd week, middle of the 3rd week, we'll come to quadratic equations. Quadratic equations में 2 या 3 चीजें ही important है. One is sum of the roots. Like what is, let's say, quadratic equation दिया हुआ है तो उसका sum of roots क्या होता है, product of roots क्या होता है, and when are the roots real, when are the roots imaginary, when are the roots equal, इसके around. So आप जब पढ़ोगे, 2 days are more than enough to prepare for quadratic equations. And let's say the 2 questions that will come in the exam from quadratic, you will be able to solve at least one of them with basic preparation of quadratic equations. ठीक है. Now after quadratic, I have intentionally put logarithms here. Why logarithms? Because logarithms देखने में और let's say सुनने में काफी complicated लगता है, काफी difficult सा लगता है. ठीक है, वो लगता है, but when you actually solve, when you actually study logarithms, trust me, it has only 2 or 3 formulae out there that you need to remember, बहुत basic formulae, and if you apply that, you are good to go in CAT. And every year you will have at least one question from logarithms, at least one question. I remember in 2018 when I had given CAT, there were 3 questions from logarithms. So logarithms आप नहीं कर सकते, skip बिल्कुल भी. And again, these are level 1 questions. Trust me, level 1 as in easy questions होंगे. Sometimes you will have a level 2 question, but again, that will be a rarity. ठीक है. Now, when it comes to verbal, what we'll be doing in the 3rd week is, ठीक है, हमने RCs कर लिया है, correct? हमने summaries भी कर लिया है. RCs will continue doing. RCs हमें दिन का 3 करना ही करना है. What we'll also do is Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. Now I will start doing para jumbles and out of context questions also. 5 each day. Basically, let's say Monday I'll do 3 RCs. वो तो करना ही है. So 3 RCs is around, let's say 25-30 minutes, 35-40 minutes maximum. 5 para jumbles, 5 out of context questions, because para jumbles and out of context questions go hand in hand. They are very similar to each other. आपको pattern ढूंढना होता है. In para jumbles, you have to identify a sequence. In out of context, you have to identify both sequence and a pattern. Okay? So that is why summaries is okay. Summaries we'll not do in the 3rd week. That's fine. Para jumbles and out of context questions. So let's say Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, अगर हम कर रहे हैं 5 questions, so we would have completed 5 into 4. That is 20 para jumbles and 20 out of context questions. ठीक है? Trust me, अगर आप इतना करते हो ना, and आप let's say उस week के end में, week 3 के end में ही आप CAT देने चले जाते हो, you will get at least 1 or 2 para jumbles out of 3 correct in the CAT exam, at least 1 or 2 out of context questions correct. I guarantee you that. I guarantee you that, because it is tried and tested. Like this preparation method has been like we've been trying it out, testing it out over the last few years. So this will definitely work. In terms of LRDI, what I would recommend is spend some time on DI kind of sets, data interpretation sets, jahan pe let's say you have some kind of a table and usme thoda data points missing hai. Let's say you have a table, theek hai? Usme let's say 3rd value missing hai from, let's say 1st row ka 3rd value is missing, 2nd row ka 5th value is missing, etc. Try to solve these kind of questions. These kind of questions again are very, very common in CAT. Very common in CAT, these kinds of sets. So I was just going through last year's paper as well. So last year ka paper LRDI was slightly easier compared to the previous years, but उसमें भी तीनों slots में ये वाला type का question था. उसमें table भी आपको खुद ही बनानी थी based on the data given to you, and then there were some missing things in the table. So do this. इसके basis पे क्या होगा? You will also start learning or start improving on how to use the conditions to fill in the, because देखो LRDI में क्या होगा, you will be given some paragraph or some data, correct? कुछ तो चीजें होंगी, and then you will be given a set of conditions that it is also known that condition A, condition B, condition C, condition D, correct? So उनको कब use करना है, कैसे use करना है will be very, very important for the CAT exam. So please do missing data in table sets. ठीक है? Now when it comes to LRDI, I think इससे ज़्यादा going question specific might not be very, very helpful, because again, like Adila ma'am had also mentioned, I think Abhijit sir would also agree with it, कि LRDI में कुछ भी पूछ सकते हैं. It is like, it can be absolutely anything. Something new might come up on the day of exams. So अभी हम LRDI में क्या focus करेंगे? After doing this basic, let's say 4 or 5 kind of questions that are usually repetitive, we'll start doing previous year papers of LRDI. That will really help us. That will really, really help us, because उसमें क्या होगा? उसमें you are actually playing around with the paper setters mentality, या उनके thought process के type के आपको questions मिल रहे हैं. So you are able to adapt yourself better compared to, let's say, these fixed kind of questions. ठीक है? So what I would recommend is 3rd week, Wednesday, Thursday, LRDI में you have 2 days, correct? 2018 में there used to be 34 LRDI questions, or I think 32 LRDI questions. So 8 sets आते थे. 8 sets were there in 2018, like up till 2018, 2019 in fact, जब 3 घंटे का पेपर होता था, there used to be 8 LRDI sets. So 2018 CAT slot 1 के जो 8 sets है ना, उसमें से 4 solve on Wednesday, 4 solve on Thursday. It'll take you about 1 hour, like half an hour, 45 minutes for solving, half an hour, 45 minutes to analyze कि क्या चल रहा है, क्या खराब चल रहा है. Yeah, Ishita, I think, yeah, that's a good question. What about number systems? Number systems, it's usually you will get 1 or 2 questions. Now the thing with number systems is, why have I not included in the plan to achieve, let's say 90 percentile, 85 to 90 percentile is number systems mein your questions are firstly very twisted. That's number one. Number two, the concept is vast. आपको ज्यादा टाइम लगेगा. And number three, you do not know question आएगा भी कि नहीं आएगा. ठीक है. So this I have included in the second this thing. In this one, number system is a part of this. ठीक है. Yeah. And again, on Saturday, like every Saturday, we'll be doing mock test and mock analysis. Now, fourth week, what we'll be doing is, अभी हमने quadratic equation logarithms कर लिया है, ठीक है, algebra, arithmetic भी complete कर लिया है. So from week 4th, so right now we are at exact mid of our this thing. From today, 3 weeks will be the exact mid of another 3 weeks to CAT, right? So fourth week, what we'll do is we'll try to focus a little on geometry, because again, geometry is a number of questions are lesser. Let's say 4 or 5 questions, maybe 6 questions sometimes. Yeah, maybe 6 नहीं होता है. Maximum I think 4 questions from geometry. So उसको skip नहीं कर सकते. At least 2 जो easy questions होंगे geometry के out of these 4, that we have to aim and crack, correct? So geometry में what we'll do is we'll go for triangles. We'll spend 2 days on triangles. Now triangles में क्या important है? Types of triangles. Let's say there's a scalene triangle, there's an isosceles triangle, equilateral triangle, right angle triangle, Pythagoras theorem, areas of triangle, correct? Some property of some angle property, that is for a triangle, all angles ka sum is always how much? 180 degrees. Correct? Right angle triangle mein always a square plus b square, as in hypotenuse, jo sabse badi side hoti hai, that is the square of the sum of squares of the two sides. Correct? So these basic things are important for us. So triangles हम करेंगे, basics of triangles करेंगे. Do not get into a lot of theorems and all, because that will take more time. अगर आपने कर रखा है तो very good. Again, अगर आपने कर रखा है तो that's very very good. Revise that. Please revise that. अगर नहीं किया है, go with the basics. Area, perimeter, area of a triangle, perimeter of a triangle, right triangle, Pythagoras theorem. All of this will be important. ठीक है. Now the next 2 days we'll focus on circles. इन सर्कल्स व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट मैंने एनीवे कवर किया है आगे के स्लाइड में. सर्कल्स में हमें कौन से मेन कंसेप्ट्स पे फोकस करना है, बट सर्कल में व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट आई विल आल्सो टेक यू थ्रू इट राइट अवे. वन थिंग इज एरिया ऑफ अ सर्कल, करेक्ट. वन थिंग वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट कंसेप्ट इज 90. So I'll come to it in fact. So chords are very very important. Chords, area of a sector within a circle is very very important. उस पे क्वेश्चन आता है. Chords, let's say within a circle you draw 2 chords, उस पे क्वेश्चन आता है कैट में, आता है, इट्स अ पैटर्न, आता है. बिकॉज और क्या पूछेंगे ना सर्कल्स में. लेट्स से 2 कॉन्सेंट्रिक सर्कल्स बना दिए, ठीक है, एंड देन सम क्वेश्चन अराउंड दैट, जिसमें आपको 2 सर्कल्स विद द सेम सेंटर बनाने पड़ेंगे. तो उसमें क्वेश्चन आता है कैट में, बिकॉज और कुछ है ही नहीं ना. एक लिमिटेड नंबर ऑफ क्वेश्चंस ही तो आ सकते हैं कोई भी टॉपिक से, स्पेशली इन क्वांट्स. सो सर्कल्स में अगेन देयर आर फिक्स्ड टाइप्स ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. 2 दिन हम अगर स्पेंड करेंगे सर्कल्स पे, out of 1 or 2 questions there's a good chance at least one of the question we'll be able to solve. ठीक है. And then on Friday what we'll do is we'll just do a little bit of regular polygons. By regular polygons what we need to focus on is pentagon. अब pentagon है, hexagon है, because hexagon के ऊपर का बहुत rarely पूछते हैं, like 7 sides है. Pentagon is 5 sides. Regular polygon का मतलब क्या होता है? सारे polygons एक पॉलीगॉन, लेट्स से अ रेगुलर पेंटागन, मतलब पेंटागन इज 5 पेंट, सो 5 साइड्स एंड ईच साइड एन एंगल इज इक्वल, सो दैट्स अ रेगुलर पेंटागन. ठीक है. अ रेगुलर हेक्सागन का क्या मतलब होता है? हेक्स मतलब 6, सो 6 साइड्स, ईच साइड एन एंगल इज इक्वल, दैट इज व्हाई इट इज कॉल्ड रेगुलर. रेगुलर मतलब साइड्स आर इक्वल, ऑल साइड्स आर इक्वल एंड ऑल एंगल्स आर इक्वल. ठीक है. सो रेगुलर पॉलीगॉन्स करना, उसमें व्हाट विल, जैसे अभिजीत सर ने बताया था अभी थोड़ी देर पहले, द सिमेट्री बेस्ड थिंग्स. बेसिकली हाउ डू यू डिवाइड अ रेगुलर पॉलीगॉन इनटू स्मॉलर सिमेट्रिक पार्ट्स. सो बेसिकली बिकॉज क्वेश्चंस भी उसी टाइप के होंगे एग्जाम में. द क्वेश्चन विल बी ऑफ द टाइप, लेट्स से मेरे पास एक, लेट्स से हेक्सागन है, उसको हमने किस तरीके से डिवाइड किया, कोई तो एक वे में डिवाइड किया, तो व्हाट विल बी द एरिया, रेशियो ऑफ एरिया ऑफ फर्स्ट रीजन टू द सेकंड रीजन. अगेन यू विल हैव टू डिवाइड इट इनटू स्मॉलर पार्ट्स, जैसे अभिजीत सर ने बताया था, एंड यू विल हैव टू सॉल्व इट. There are no set formulae etc for regular polygons. बहुत set formulas नहीं है, and don't rely a lot on formulae. Rely on making the diagram and trying to solve it. ठीक है. In terms of now, see, until now verbal का हमने RCs practice कर लिया है, summaries practice कर लिया है, parajumble out of context practice कर लिया है. Week 4 what we'll do is now we'll start practicing all of them together. वो कैसे कर सकते हैं? Mock test देके, basically sectional mock देके. So verbal का what I would recommend is do 2018 slot 2 का section of verbal. Don't take it as a test because this is a 1 hour thing, correct? 2018 में you used to have 1 hour का verbal section. Take it as individual this thing. Take it as let's say 5 RCs individual. पांचों को solve करो between Wednesday and Thursday of the 4th week and see how you're doing that. Try to analyze them. ठीक है. Similarly 4 questions parajumbles के होंगे. I'm assuming 4 questions होंगे summary के and 2 questions होंगे out of context के. Solve all of them. ठीक है. It will give you more practice and it will also help you get in that zone of actually attempting exam papers and not just let's say practice material. So mentally, psychologically it will help you. And LRDI का तो like we had discussed, anyway from the 3rd week itself, from the second half of the 3rd week itself, हमारा focus हो गया है of taking LRDI as a whole set now, not as let's say Venn diagram पे एक question and pie chart, वैसे नहीं, as a set हम LRDI practice कर रहे हैं. So week 4 में again we'll try to solve sets from 2018 का slot 2. And on Friday what we'll do is verbal again, like we'll take 2020 which was a 40-minute section. So 2020 verbal slot 1 ले सकते हैं and 2020 slot 1 for LRDI again, 40 minutes each. So let's say आपने उसको analyze किया, you work more on it, 40 minutes की जगह 1 hour 15 minutes, definitely doable. ठीक है. Now 5th week again becomes important. 5th week of quants is important, more important than the 4th week. Why is that so? Because 5th week में what we have planned is आपका basic of geometry हो गया है, correct? Basic of geometry हो गया है. Now the geometric things, the geometry syllabus that will actually help you gain a lot of marks. So quants में go with areas, like spend 2 days just on areas and perimeters. Areas कौन से चीजों का? Triangle का area क्या होता है? Square का area क्या होता है? Rectangle, rhombus. Rhombus area is what? Rhombus area is half into diagonal 1 into diagonal 2. ठीक है, remember that. वो आता है rhombus every second year. There is one question on rhombus every second year. Parallelogram क्या होता है? इसका angle property क्या होता है? and इसका area क्या होता है? Parallelogram का area क्या होता है? Very important. Parallelogram area is base into height. Please remember it. Similarly, trapezium I distinctly remember 2018 में पूछा था, 2020 में पूछा था. So 18 में पूछा, 20 में पूछा, good chance 2022 में पूछेंगे. So area of trapezium क्या होता है? ठीक है? Area of trapezium क्या होता है? This is important. So please do areas well. And then again spend 2 days on surface areas and volumes. Again, this is very, a hot topic जिसमें से 1 या 2 questions पूछेंगे ही पूछेंगे. There's no chance कि ना पूछें. Surface area of a cube, surface area of a cuboid, cylinder, ठीक है, right circular cylinder, right circular cone, sphere, hemisphere. इनका surface area and volume, very formula based questions. Please do it. Please prepare well on these. And again, the mantra is the same. 25 questions across 2 days. 12 question आपको करने हैं बस दिन के. Very much doable. 12 question let's say Wednesday को surface area के कर लेना, next day 12 questions volume के कर लेना, and you're good to go. ठीक है. Then Friday of week 5 anyway, because अभी major हमारा portion हो चुका है complete. We have done decent amount of geometry, areas, surface areas, volumes, polygons, triangles, circles. हमने arithmetic भी कर लिया है. हमने थोड़ा सा जो algebra था, the easier part of algebra. If you see, we have not touched permutation, combination, probability right now because number of questions is less. उनको time ज़्यादा लगेगा, उसमें logic and सोचना ज़्यादा पड़ता है, तो it is something we can slightly deprioritize. But again, आपको आता है, if you think you want to do it, please go ahead and do it. ठीक है. Then Friday what we'll do is 2021 CAT जो था, quants का do, let's say do the quant section. Similarly, spend 1 or 1.5 hours on the verbal section, spend 1.5 hours on the LRDI section. And यहाँ पे देखो, I am not calling it a mock here because इसको आप separately कर रहे हो. You are doing first quants, let's say doing 40 minutes आप खुद को दे रहे हो. क्वांट्स का पेपर सॉल्व करने में ऑफ 2021 स्लॉट 1, देन यू आर यूजिंग 1 hour उसके बाद में जस्ट टू एनालाइज कि मैंने क्या सही किया, क्या गलत किया, क्या बेटर कर सकता था मैं, एक्सेट्रा. सिमिलरली फॉर वर्बल, सिमिलरली फॉर LRD. So don't treat it as one complete test, treat it as 3 different practices that you're doing. ठीक है. Now our entire preparation is more or less completed. ठीक है, preparation हो गया है. I know कि on my day I'll be able to do well in CAT. ठीक है, unless let's say I let the pressure get to me वगैरह वगैरह, मैं बहुत pressure में चले जाता हूँ या चले जाती हूँ वगैरह. So that's a different case, but on a normal this thing I'll be able to do pretty well. Yeah, games and tournaments, Prachi, again, what will happen is, like I mentioned, games and tournaments automatically will be a part of LRD at these mock tests and these past papers जब आप करोगे. Games and tournaments will again be a part of that. Why? LRDI में मैंने बहुत ज़्यादा segmentize नहीं किया है या question specific point out नहीं किया है, because each year some different kind of question will be asked. So अगर हम बहुत ज़्यादा question वाले psychology से जाएंगे और question type के psychology से जाएंगे, it will not it might not be very very helpful. So LRDI में we have to make our mind work in such a way कि कोई भी नए type का question आए या कोई भी unfamiliar question आए, I'm able to tackle it there and then. ठीक है. So इसके लिए LRDI please try to have a slightly less problem or question type specific approach. Try to have a more open approach there. ठीक है. Now in the 6th week what we'll do is Monday and Tuesday let's just quants के लिए अभी तक जितना भी किया था फॉर्मूला रिवाइज कर लो, जो इंपॉर्टेंट क्वेश्चंस मार्क किए होंगे उनको एक बार रिवाइज कर लो, जो जो आपके प्रीवियस मॉक्स में गलत क्वेश्चंस गए होंगे उनको रिवाइज कर लो. इट विल बी द फर्स्ट 2 days विल बी मोर अराउंड रिवीजन. ठीक है. वर्बल LRD है, नथिंग चेंजेस. वर्बल हम प्रैक्टिस कर रहे हैं. कोई भी लेट्स से 2021 स्लॉट 2 का एक सेक्शन, मतलब 2021 स्लॉट 2 का हमने वर्बल ले लिया, उसको प्रैक्टिस किया, एनालाइज किया. सिमिलरली LRDI 2021 का स्लॉट 2 ले लिया, प्रैक्टिस किया, एनालाइज किया. So verbal LRDI nothing changes, because उसमें रिवाइज क्या करोगे ना, LRDI में there is nothing to revise as such. It is only to practice and be in that stealth mode. Similarly verbal में प्रैक्टिस करना है, उस जोन में रहना है कि हाँ मतलब मेरे पास अगर फास्ट डिलीवरी भी आए तो मैं उसको अच्छे से डिफेंड कर पाऊंगा, या उस पर अगर बाउंड्री मारनी है बाउंड्री मार पाऊंगा. मेरे पास अगर इजी डिलीवरी आई तो आई विल बी एबल टू हिट अ 6 on it. ठीक है. Then Wednesday and Thursday what we'll be doing is 2021 का एक slot 3 ले लो, give it as a mock paper. Why I have chosen 2021 slot 3? I've chosen it for some reason, which maybe I or Abhijit sir can tell you after the CAT happens, but yeah, go for 2021 slot 3 as your last mock that you'll be taking. ठीक है. बिकॉज एनीवे वो 1 साल पहले का है, तो देयर इज अ गुड चांस कि वैसे टाइप के क्वेश्चंस आएंगे आपको एग्जाम में, राइट. एंड ऑल्सो इट्स अ 2 hour पेपर, सो अगेन दैट हेल्प्स. एंड ऑब्वियसली मतलब गिवन यू आर जस्ट 3-4 days अवे फ्रॉम द एग्जाम, बेस्ट है कि आप कोई प्रीवियस ईयर पेपर ही लो, वेरी वेरी रीसेंट पेपर. ठीक है. सो अगेन लाइक गिव दिस मॉक, डू द मॉक एनालिसिस ओवर वेडनेसडे एंड थर्सडे, देन फ्राइडे सैटरडे डोंट डू एनीथिंग, यू चिल, यू स्लीप. पार्टी मत करना. लाइक आई वुड tell you to stay away from partying on Friday, Saturday. Keep that for Sunday night. But Friday, Saturday, just relax. Don't give your mind the stress of, let's say, exam में क्या होगा. मेरा तो LRDI week. So मेरे केस में what used to happen is my LRDI week I was always stressed कि यार LRDI अच्छा नहीं गया तो क्या होगा. LRDI में what if I end up messing it up. Doesn't help. Worrying will not help. ठीक है. Just chill. Don't think about the exam. The exam is not the last thing. मतलब it will help you, let's say, get to your dream college and make a lot of your life much better and much easier. But for some reason, let's say अगर थोड़ा इधर उधर भी होता है, that's not the end of the life. I know like thousands of people, like at least 4 or 5 very very strong people who have not done an MBA. So MBA definitely will help you. MBA from a good college will give you thousands of opportunities, but don't stress over it. ठीक है. Don't stress over it. Be very very relaxed. Friday, Saturday, just chill. कोई मूवी वूवी देख लो, like कुछ भी कर लो. just relax and थोड़ा रिवीजन कर लेना. दोनों दिन half an hour क्वांट्स के बस फॉर्मूले रिवाइज कर लेना. I think that should be more than enough. So this was the preparation plan to reach, let's say, 90 percentile, to reach anywhere between 80, 85, 90 percentile. ठीक है. I'll quickly take this question from Isha. Sir, can we skip number system or do only basic questions? If you have time, do basic questions. देखो basic questions तो I would recommend सारे topics के करने चाहिए, because in the exam 60% of your questions are basic. कोई भी topic हो, ठीक है. So basic questions तो करने चाहिए, but then what happens is 6 weeks ही अगर हमारे पास हैं तो we will still have to reduce the number of topics that we are focusing on. So इसके लिए मैंने number systems यहाँ पे नहीं डाला है, ठीक है. I'll quickly move to the second section of students. Let's say you are already achieving anywhere between 80 to 90 percentile in mocks right now, ठीक है. 80 to 90, 90 to 93 अगर आप achieve कर रहे हो, that means you know the basics. You know the basics. There is a fine tuning that is required. There is some, बोलते हैं ना, मशीनरी में ऑयलिंग होती है जो जरूरी होती है. That will help it run smoother. That is what is required. Your preparation plan remains more or less the same, but we are squeezing in more things that you can do. So in the first week, what you should be doing in quant, so basically the aim should be 1.5 weeks mein get done with arithmetic ka pura revision of yours. So in the first week, you should be going ahead with time, speed, distance, ratio, proportion, percentage, mixtures, allegations, averages. ठीक है. So पहले week में ये plan करो, because this will again help you prepare for 6-7 questions that will come. 4 from this first set, 2 or 3 from mixtures, allegation, averages. ठीक है. Then profit and loss, time, work, partnerships, and quadratics also in the second week. So this I'm talking only about quants right now. I think because you are already, जो लोग ये set में हैं, the people who are already in 80 to 90 percentile, 90 to 93 percentile, they are well versed with the things. So we'll go section wise here. ठीक है. So quants में then go for profit loss, simple compound interest, time, work, partnerships, quadratic equations. ठीक है. Then in the third week, what you will do is go for logarithms and exponents, go for triangles and circles. Fourth week, polygons, areas, ठीक है, surface area, volume, and also Venn diagram. And in the fifth week, go for PNC probability. So PNC probability हमने यहाँ पे we had skipped. Why? Because PNC probability is a little tricky, lot of formulae, and question भी एक या दो ही आता है. तो एक या दो, मतलब why put in so much of investment when the return is not very high, correct? And similarly, functions and number systems also you can cover. Functions पे every year एक question definitely आएगा ही आएगा. Number system पे कोई सालों में आता है, कोई some years they don't have a question number system. ठीक है. So keep it towards the end of your preparation. This is more of modern math, algebra, or let's say modern math. You can call it either. So keep it towards the end of your preparation. So this is how. So I think whoever is in this category, आपको समझ गया होगा कि what we are essentially doing is बस ये 4 या 5 हफ्तों में we are only revising whatever we have done. ठीक है. Similarly, LRDI में it stays very similar to what we have just discussed. It will in fact stay almost the same. ठीक है. LRDI में क्या करना है? LRDI में we start with Venn diagrams, pie chart based question, bar graph questions, ranking based sets, arrangements, ठीक है, missing data in table, and then just LRDI के mock tests. Only and only mock tests apart from this. And similarly in verbal, exactly the same strategy. Let's say I'll focus on RCs first. ठीक है. Then RCs के साथ I will start clubbing in summaries in the second week. And if I'm comfortable, summaries, parajumbles, out of context, तीनों में लेने चालू कर दूंगा. Because again, I'm in that 85 to 90% zone, right? So इसका मतलब ये तो है नहीं कि मुझे parajumbles बिल्कुल नहीं आता, out of context बिल्कुल नहीं आता, summary बिल्कुल नहीं आता. तो जितना आता है, I'll take that as a base. I'll practice and practice and practice and practice, and I'll get better. ठीक है. Because when you are in the 80 to 90 का range ना currently, it is only about practice and your physical and mental fitness, your physical and mental game practice. जो क्रिकेट के पहले होता है ना मैच प्रैक्टिस, अभी वर्ल्ड कप चालू होने वाला है, राइट? सो व्हाट इज इंपॉर्टेंट इज प्लेयर्स आर प्लेइंग दिस प्रैक्टिस मैचेस, कभी ऑस्ट्रेलिया के साथ, कभी बांग्लादेश के साथ. वो इंटरनल प्रैक्टिस मैचेस क्यों नहीं खेल रहे हैं? Why are they not playing practice matches? कि अच्छा 20-22 लोगों की टीम लेके जाते हैं, let's take 22 people to Australia, and of 22 Indian cricketers, and 11 versus 11 we'll play. Now why do we need to practice with other countries? We do that because we want actual game practice, right? We want actual match practice. And that is what happens is with these mocks also, because unke basics clear hain, correct? Their basics are clear. They want to become familiar with Australian pitches, Australian weather, etc., which is similar to us right now. We want our minds and our bodies to become very very familiar with the kind of bounce that the paper can give us, as in some unexpected questions, or the kind of Yorkers that we can get, that is again unexpected or difficult questions, or the easy delivery जो कि आ सकते हैं, because spin, or again Australian pitches you cannot spin a lot, so spin kind of questions will not be a lot, correct? So we have to mentally prepare ourselves accordingly, and that is why your mocks will be very important. And if you see in this plan, Friday, Saturday, almost on all days, we are focusing on sectional and full mocks. Okay, so sectional and full mocks become very important. Okay. Now in the 6th week, the only difference is I would not recommend spending 2 days on quants ka formula revision, because again, if you are in that 80 to 90% bracket already, आपको आते हैं formulas. Trust me, आपको आते हैं. You might be thinking आपको नहीं आते हैं, but आपको आते हैं. You know 90% of the formulas. So again, Monday, Tuesday, go for 2021 slot, 2K questions, analyze them, etc. Wednesday, Thursday, give a mock test, preferably 2021 ka 3rd slot, do its analysis. Okay. Then Friday, Saturday, very similar to the previous set also. Just relax, thoda bahut revision kar lo. Make yourself very acquainted to the fact that everything is going to be all right after the exam. There is nothing like it's just an exam. If you have given, see, in the last in over the next 6 weeks, if you give 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, there are a total of at least 6 mocks that I have recommended. अगर आप ये 6 mocks देते हो ना, trust me, जब आप exam में जाओगे, it will just be a 7th mock for you. You will not feel that pressure of the exam, and not feeling that pressure of the exam is the best thing that can happen, because again it is a normal practice for you, correct? आपके लिए वो आप एक उसको बस थोड़ा सा है कि अच्छा it's at a new, for example it's at a new ground, it's at a new pitch, तो वो थोड़ा सा difference होगा, but you know your body now knows कि weather क्या है, your mind knows कि क्या pace पे ball आएगी, क्या bounce होगा, वगैरह, so you'll be able to adjust to that much better. ठीक है, so this is the preparation plan. This will help, trust me, it will help. Don't stick to, like, don't go ahead with it, don't stick to it with a T, that's fine. इसका मतलब ये है कि जरूरी नहीं है कि एक ही चीज फॉलो करनी है, but try to follow 70-80% of it. Now within quants, what are some things that we could focus on? Because in the a question I keep getting from a lot of our students is, अच्छा time speed distance for example है, इसमें हम क्या पढ़ें exactly, आप बता सकते हो क्या? तो I've tried doing that for some of the topics, so yeah, keep noting them down. Time speed distance में we had already discussed relative velocity, races, diagram based questions आ सकते हैं, as in diagram आपको बनाना पड़ेगा based on the question. River based problems, average speed, ठीक है? So this is important. And again, questions have become lesser formula based and more conceptual. In terms of profit and loss, what is important? या किसका आने का ज्यादा चांस है? If you are selling 2 things, ठीक है, दोनों पे equal profit and loss हुआ, let's say एक पे 10% profit हुआ, एक पे 10% loss हुआ, तो find the net profit, find the net loss. वैसे type के questions are common. ठीक है, now one thing is sold at 20% profit, the other is sold at 30% loss. Find the net profit, find the net loss. Or let's say successive profits. Ki, let's say Ram purchased something for, let's say Ram purchased something at paying 10% extra than what the previous price was. And then he sold it at a profit of 20%. And usne jisko becha, he sold it at another profit of 30%. So what is the final selling price? Similarly for losses. Ki basically first profit, then again profit. Yeah, first loss, then again loss. Yeah, first profit, then loss. Something like that. ठीक है? Now profit and loss में एक चीज आप याद रख सकते हो या ध्यान में रख सकते हो, it can get slightly tricky, slightly calculative. So try to solve it in the first 30, 45, 60 seconds. अगर नहीं कुछ दिमाग में आ रहा है कि कैसे करना, it's okay, skip it. Losing 45 seconds in the exam, and please trust me, losing 45 seconds in the exam is fine compared to losing 4 minutes and not getting anything out of it. So 45 seconds, 60 seconds में अगर कुछ भी नहीं आ रहा है, approach नहीं आ रहा है, leave it, go to the next question, absolutely fine. Come back to it later if time permits. Now mixture ratio and proportions में and averages में what is important is simple average weight. So this is again mixture ratio proportion is nothing but these are all averages, correct? Ratio Yeah, so यहाँ पे average भी है. I think I missed out on writing averages here. In terms of averages, mixture proportion ratio, what is important is simple average, weighted average, change in the average. कि let's say there were 10 people जिनका average weight था let's say 50 kg. Now 5 more people have come and the average weight of the group has reduced by 2 kgs. ठीक है? So find the average of just these 5 new people. ऐसा कुछ पूछ सकते हैं. तो ये काफी पूछते हैं. ठीक है? And again, like the second point mentioned, average में या ratio proportion में don't rely too much on formulae. Basic concepts of ratios and proportions is what will really help you. Basic concept of average is what will really help you. ठीक है? So for example, these are, so जैसे ये question था, this is again a previous CAT question. We will not be solving it. I think we have done enough solving for today. But yeah, so this is again, 2 types A and B are mixed and then sold at an average of 40 rupees per kg. ठीक है? इन दोनों को बेचा and then total mixture को आप 40 rupees per kg में sell कर रहे हो, इनको mix करके. The profit is 10% if they are mixed in 3:2 ratio. It is 5% if it is mixed in 2:3 ratio. तो यहाँ पे average वाला concept आ रहा है with this 40. Correct? यहाँ पे profit percentage का concept आ रहा है. यहाँ पे mixtures का भी concept आ रहा है. ठीक है? So this is a mixture of this thing. And again, this is a simple question when you actually go and solve it. But your conceptual knowledge of profit loss and mixtures or ratios needs to be strong. Then what happens is, again, work efficiency and pipe. So this is basically work is nothing but time and work. Efficiency is nothing but partnerships, something like partnerships. ठीक है? So यहाँ पे what are the key subtopics? Rate of performing work when multiple entities are involved. So by this, what I essentially mean is Ram can complete something in 3 days. Sham can complete it in 5 days. उनका rate of working है ना? If Ram can complete it in 3 days, Sham can complete it in 5 days, Sita can complete it in 8 days. So Ram, Sham, Sita साथ में करेंगे तो पूरा काम कितने time में complete होगा? That is the kind of distinct questions that can come. ठीक है? Another common type of problem here is based on tanks. That a tank has 2 pipes. Pipe A fills the tank in 3 hours completely. Pipe B empties the tank completely in 5 hours. So अगर आप दोनों को साथ में, like let's say if you turn them on together, that pipe A is filling the tank, pipe B is emptying the tank, but दोनों का rate different है. So in what time will the tank be full or in what time will the tank be half full? Correct? वैसे type के questions are very common. Sometimes it can be a little lengthy again, which is typical to most arithmetic problems. नहीं समझ रहा है, go to the next question. That's fine. ठीक है? Now, one slightly important aspect is APGP. Arithmetic progression, geometric progression. HP आजकल नहीं पूछते. Harmonic progression is very, very rare. ठीक है? So what you can focus is on arithmetic progression, geometric progression, arithmetic mean, geometric mean. ठीक है? इन पे पूछते हैं questions. But most important is AP and GP, arithmetic progression, geometric progression. ठीक है? इसमें भी arithmetic geometric progression में क्या हमें याद रखना है? Sum of n terms of arithmetic progression, sum of n terms of geometric progression. Similarly, general term of arithmetic progression, general term of geometric progression, and sum of terms of infinite GP. Very important, very, very important. Infinite GP क्या होता है? I try to explain the concept to you very, very quickly right now. Infinite GP is basically a geometric progression. Geometric progression क्या होता है? Let's say my first number is 5. Second number, you multiply 5 by something. So let's say अगर common ratio 3 है and 5 is the first term, so 5 into 3, 15. ठीक है? 15 into 3, 45. 45 into 3, 135. 135 into 3, 395. So first term को आप same number से अगर multiply करते जाओ, each time you get a GP, geometric progression. ठीक है? Now for example, ऐसा geometric progression ले लो. 10 को half से multiply किया तो कितना मिला? 5 को half से multiply किया कितना मिला? 2.5. उसको half से multiply किया कितना मिला? 1.25. So जब your common ratio का magnitude or value is less than 1, ठीक है, बेसिकली second term is smaller than first one, third term is smaller than second term वगैरह. So 10, 5, 2.5. So this is a reducing GP, correct? इसका magnitude of values is decreasing. So ऐसा GP with infinite terms is called an infinite GP. Please study the concept of infinite GPs, and the formula for sum of infinite GP is A upon 1 minus R. Remember it. ये 2018 में पूछा था, अगेन आई थिंक 2019 में पूछा था, 21 में पूछा था. 21 आई एम नॉट वेरी श्योर, 18-19 डेफिनेटली पूछा था. A by A divided by 1 minus R. Denominator is 1 minus R. A is nothing but first term of the infinite GP. R is nothing but common ratio of the infinite GP. ठीक है, so please concentrate on sum of terms of GP, AP, general term of AP GP and infinite GP का sum. So see, let x y be, ये question है which is again a GP question. X less than y less than z, 5x. So यहाँ पे क्या बोल रहा है, x y z are in geometric progression. ठीक है, x is less than y, y is less than z. So definitely middle term तो y होगा obviously ना, because ठीक है. Now it is saying 5x, 16y and 12z are in arithmetic progression. Then the common ratio of the geometric progression is. So this is a CAT 2018 question. ठीक है, यहाँ पे AP and GP they are combining. Then while multiplying three real numbers, Ashok took one of the numbers as 73 instead of 37. As a result, the product went up by 720, the minimum possible values of sum of squares. So this is an AM-GM question, AM greater than equal to GM question. इसको आप दूसरे वे में भी कर सकते हो, but हाँ, मतलब my intent of putting it here was something around arithmetic mean, geometric mean. But again, if you are just at the beginning of your preparation or you're already not at, let's say, something around 85-90, you can skip this. Not important. इसको आप दूसरे वे में कर सकते हो. Arithmetic mean, geometric mean is not important. ठीक है. Now let's quickly come to circles. Circles में क्या क्या important है? Chords important है. What is a chord? ठीक है, कॉर्ड क्या होता है, कैसे ड्रॉ करना है सर्कल पे, दिस इज इंपॉर्टेंट. पैरेलल कॉर्ड्स, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. पैरेलल कॉर्ड्स एंड देयर डिस्टेंस फ्रॉम द सेंटर, द डिस्टेंस ऑफ द पैरेलल कॉर्ड फ्रॉम द सेंटर, वेरी वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट. डिस्टेंस बिटवीन टू पैरेलल कॉर्ड्स विद इन द सर्कल. ठीक है. देन परपेंडिकुलर ड्रॉन फ्रॉम सेंटर टू अ कॉर्ड, क्या होता है इसका, किसको कोई, कैन समवन टेल मी द प्रॉपर्टी, व्हाट इज द प्रॉपर्टी व्हेन यू ड्रॉ अ परपेंडिकुलर from the center of the circle to a chord? It will always bisect it into two equal halves and it will always be perpendicular, because perpendicular to hai, but whenever you draw perpendicular from the center to a chord, it will always divide the chord into two equal parts. Very very important from exam point of view, very important. ठीक है. Second thing that, so one is chords, very very important. Third is second is area and circumference of circle and its sector. Sector मतलब क्या, circle है ना, circle में you just take this 60 degree का part. ठीक है. So something like that. So let's say if a sector is of 360 degrees, ठीक है. So what will be the area of that sector? That area of that sector will be 60 degrees. That is angle of that sector divided by total angle of circle. Total angle of sector is always 360 degrees. So let's say sector का angle अगर 60 degrees है ना, so area of that sector will be 60 upon 360 multiplied by area of circle. Let's say sector का angle is 45 degrees, so it will be 45 upon 360 into area of circle. Let's say sector का angle is 90, it will be 90 upon 360 into area of circle. ठीक है. So all of these are important. इसमें बहुत ज्यादा variations पूछ सकते हैं. So it can be slightly twisted to take a call. आपको सर्कल का वो क्वेश्चन पढ़ के अगर 45-60 seconds में अगेन आ रहा है तो well and good, go ahead with it. नहीं आ रहा है, it's okay to skip and go to the next one. So again, this is a past year paper, I think 2019 का है ये. In a circle, two parallel chords on the same side have lengths 4 and 6. If the distance between these chords, then the radius of the circle. Very standard question. If you have done this, chords, parallel chords, distance between parallel chords, and these are not formula based, these are very very conceptual. तो अगर आपने ये किया हुआ है, अगर आपको इसका idea, this will be a cakewalk for you. Similarly, this is again a very basic question of circles. कि ABCD एक rectangle है जिसको we are inscribing मतलब making it inside a circle. ठीक है. touching all the and its vertices, the corners of the rectangle touch the entire circumference of the circle. So इसमें से क्या possible length हो सकती है, length and breadth हो सकता है उस rectangle का. तो again a very standard question. ठीक है, then let's quickly go through what is important is 2D shapes. 2D shapes, basically 2D shapes मतलब क्या होता है, triangles, circles, again squares, rhombus, etc. So again lines, angles, triangles, parallelograms. So यहाँ पे क्या करना है, properties of parallelograms, rhombus and regular polygon, pentagon, hexagon, octagon. इनका जो हमने डिस्कस किया, area is important. Area of triangle, parallelogram, rhombus, rectangle. Sum of interior angles of a polygon. So please remember this, sum of interior angles of a polygon is always 180 multiplied by n minus 2. So 180 multiplied by bracket n minus 2. ठीक है, so let's say polygon में 5 sides हैं, so इनका sum of interior angles क्या होगा, 180 into 5 minus 2. So 180 into 3, 540 degrees. Similarly, you can verify it with the case of a triangle. Triangle में 3 sides होती हैं, correct? तो n हुआ 3. So 180 into bracket 3 minus 2. So 180 into 1, which is 180. Correct. So 180 into n minus 2 is sum of interior angles of a polygon. What is the sum of exterior angles of a polygon? Always 360 degrees. ठीक है. So again, यहाँ पे in general lines, angles, triangles, parallelograms, you can have various types of questions. But questions sometimes can be very, very easy. So you should be knowing the basic formula and basic concepts. ठीक है. 3D figures में, like we discussed, 3D figures is nothing but questions around surface area and volume. So volume and surface area formula पता होना चाहिए, cone, sphere, cylinder, cube, cuboid के लिए, hemisphere के लिए भी in fact. ठीक है. And then there are some standard questions, slightly medium difficulty questions कि अच्छा, when you cut a cone or when you cut a cylinder, so what will be the ratio of their volumes, the ratio of their heights, the ratio of their radii, radius, etc. ठीक है. So इसको अच्छे से करना. These are the important subtopics for 3D figures. And averages, yeah, I think this we had covered previously. Quadratic equations mein, what will be important for quadratic equations and functions? So there is a typical question of maximum or minimum. Ki let's say something like this. So okay, chalo, I'll take you through it in a bit. Quadratic equations mein, what's very important? One thing is question based on sum of roots and product of roots. So see, again, remember this quadratic equation. Let's say a quadratic equation is a into x square plus b into x plus c equal to 0. The sum of the roots will always be minus b upon a. Product of the roots will be c upon a. So for example, let's say the quadratic equation is 3x square plus 4x plus 5. So यहाँ पे a का value क्या हुआ? Whatever is attached to x square. So a is equal to 3. b का value क्या हुआ? Whatever is attached to x. So 4. Because the equation is 3x square plus 4x plus 5, right? So a is 3, b is 4, c is 5. Now sum of the roots of this equation will be minus of b upon a. b क्या था? b 4 था, a 3 था. So minus of 4 upon 3. Sum of the roots. Product of the roots will be c upon a. c क्या था? 5 था, a 3 था. तो 5 upon 3. ठीक है. So this will be important. Now functions में क्या important होता है? Maximum of minimum, minimum of maximum type of questions. Again, these are level 2, level 3 questions. If you are in the, let's say 85, 90, 95 range, you'll be able, you should aim for it. Otherwise it's okay to skip them. 3-4 साल में एक बार पूछते हैं ये. ठीक है. So now this is again a very basic quadratic question, which is on the very, very base of quadratic. मतलब quadratic equation u plus 2v the whole square के concept पे ये question था, which had come in I think CAT 2018. So very, very straightforward question. Again, what I was talking about, minimum maximum thing, जो मैं यहाँ पे mention कर रहा था, maximum, minimum, max type of questions. Again. ठीक है. Now logs and exponents में what is important is properties of logs is important. ठीक है. let's say you add two logarithms. Let's say you add log A plus log B. So the result is log of AB, given base is same. Similarly, subtract log A minus log B is log of A divided by B. Okay? And then similarly, go for like practice properties of indices. So let's say 3 raised to 5 multiplied by 3 raised to 6. So jab base same hai, indices will get added when you are multiplying. And when you're dividing, they'll get subtracted. So let's say 3 raised to 5 multiplied by 3 raised to 6 is 3 raised to 11. And 3 raised to 5 divided by 3 raised to 6 is 3 raised to 5 minus 6 because subtract ho jayega indices. So 3 raised to minus 1. Okay. And again, like you can solve almost all log questions if you know the formulae well. And log questions ko bahut zyada twist nahi kar sakte. Iske liye they become easy to answer. So this is one log question which was there in 2018. This is the second log question and exponent question. So you can see 3 questions from logs and exponents. So at least 2 questions are expected between logs and exponents. So yeah, I think guys, this is a rough plan and some of the important things that at least I would expect will help you a lot in the exam. Like these are the plans and I think important aspects humne dekhe. This is the one to reach a threshold of 85 to 90 percentile. And let's say from 90 percentile, reaching a threshold of 99 and beyond.
So Ankur, with your confidence, if someone goes through the plan which you have made for the next 6 weeks, a minimum of 90 is what we can predict for them, no? Agar
Absolutely.
kiya to, no? Agar itna kar diya to hoga hi hoga. Whichever
हाँ,
level they are standing upon.
yeah,
मतलब
because
दिया है, नहीं
nothing
दिया
will,
हुआ है, 2 mock दिया हुआ है, right?
correct. Nothing will stop
Yeah,
them.
yeah.
Nothing will stop you all, guys. The reason is because यहाँ पे again we are not like पूरे साल का पोर्शन हमें कंप्लीट नहीं करना है ना. हम 100% completion तो कर ही नहीं रहे हैं. We are barely completing 60% of the syllabus because that 60% will help us get 80% of the marks. That will help us cater to this 60% will help us rather cater to 95% of the questions. एक या दो questions होंगे बस जिसका concept हमने नहीं पढ़ा होगा. So that is why this is very, very important.
और किया इन लोगों ने, ऐसा नहीं कि नहीं किया. They have done it enough, but just the case they needed some more guidance for the last 6 weeks because this 1 month of a time will make their destiny for the next 30 years. So they got to be so much, and they need to understand the seriousness of this last 1 month. Otherwise, nothing will go wrong or bad अगर score कम आया तो. But अगर score अच्छा है, a lot of beautiful things will happen in your life. So be more optimistic, more, and at the same time, make sure with all the possible distractions that may come up, negativities that may come up, influencers who will tell you what to do, what not to do. You know what you need to do. You know how you need to do, and make sure you do it. Very simply. Clear? Yeah. Ankur can also share his email ID if in case anyone has got any question. They can feel free to raise those questions on this email ID. We'll try to get maximum rewards from Ankur and team also.
Yeah, absolutely. I'll just share it across in the chat.
And for guys over there in the session, yeah, surely Sirin will share the presentation with you. And tomorrow the session will be at 9 p.m. So the second slot of the session will be at 9 p.m. where we'll be solving and seeing the detailed plan for logical reasoning and verbal ability. Sharply at 9 o'clock we'll be starting the session. You guys have to be there on the WhatsApp group that we have made. So if in case you do not have the link for joining the group, make sure wherever you have got the notification or the email or on the SMS, the WhatsApp group notification will also be there. Be a part of the WhatsApp group for all the further communication. Yeah, if in case you've got any question, you can have the chat window is open now. You can feel free to put all the questions if in case you've got. Or yeah, so as said, on the given link from where you got the session link, the same WhatsApp group should notification link should also be pasted there. You can join the group using the same group link or the message link. Okay. If in case you have not received the link, you can message me personally. I'll share with the team and they will help you out with the link. It's 97696 17665. Perfect. So tomorrow's session, I'll again retype here. This is tomorrow's session. Be at 9 p.m. Okay. All right, thank you everyone. It was a pleasure for Ankur and me to teach you and to be a part of the session. We wish you all the best and we are hopeful to get meritorious result coming up from this batch. And obviously the journey is not over. We'll have more interactions coming up in the cycle. And after CAT, we'll be keeping more interactive sessions for the non-CAT exams too. So make sure you're inclined towards all the preparation plan that we are sharing with everyone. And the notification will be given to your WhatsApp group as well as on emails too. So make sure you're accessible to all the notifications coming from MBAP for the session. Thank you, everyone.
So all the best, guys.
Thank you. Thank you all.